Oh, welcome to the Sharpe Show. So happy to have you with me this evening. A little bit past 7 p.m. on the East Coast. And yep, I am a little bit late today. True. I had a insane day today, which I know none of you actually care about, but still it was insane for me. So yes, very challenging for me today. And I'm able to say I'm happy that I did make it, which is awesome. I wasn't sure I'd be able to make it, but I am. And I wanted to kind of get away from some of the stuff I've been talking about. And I wanted to go into something I thought was very interesting here. Very interesting here. And the interesting piece is how some people are looking at young women deciding to become trad wives and attacking them. Now, you might go, Larry, trad wife is an amazing thing. I love it. Good for you. You might go, Larry, trad wife is insanely stupid. Don't do it. Good for you also. But why in the world would you be attacking people? Why would you be attacking people, trying to stop people from doing things like that and being angry about trad wife? Oh, because it bothers you. Because it bothers you is why. And because it bothers you, oh, it bothers me. And there are people who are very popular, and I mean super popular, talking about this all over the place. And I had to show some of it. I just had to show some of this because it was indeed driving me crazy. And I wanted to comment on it because it does matter. It is part of our culture. I talk about happiness all the time. I talk about pair bonding, which we so rarely do. And pair bonding is where we are struggling. And here is someone who's very popular talking
Guys,
about.
what is this epidemic of 19-year-old trad wife content creators?
My morning as a 19-year-old what?
Get ready with us to go to church with 4 kids as teen moms.
I got married at 18, and this is the life everyone warns me about.
I'm 19 years old, married, no degree, no 9 to 5, and I'm exactly where I want to be.
My ideal voting system would be a one family vote, one household, one vote.
I was an 18-year-old trad wife who had a...
Now, all I'm saying here is you might say, wait a minute, this seems kind of weird, Larry. Maybe it is. I'm not saying it isn't. It's fine. Whatever you want to do is great. My issue here is, why does this anger anyone? If you want to be 18 years old and go to church with your kid, why am I mad? Oh, because you don't like that. Because you don't like the idea of someone who wants to be 18 years old and wants to go to church with their kid, because you see that as going backward. You see that as culture going backward. That's how you see it. And you're angry at that. You see it as now we're going back to being slaves or something like that. That means you're worried. That means you're unhappy. You should just leave people alone. And that's what bothers me.
baby at the same age, and I'm 36 now, and I'm here to tell you, don't do it. It doesn't work out.
Where are they hiding the 47-year-old trad wife?
I'll tell you where they're hiding them. If you're a 47-year-old trad wife, you know where you're not? You're not on social media. They're hiding them off of social media. If you are a 47-year-old trad wife, I mean, good for you if you are, you're not on social media. You're probably hanging out with your grandbabies. Because at 40, if you're traditional wife, 47, you're probably a grandma, right? Assuming. You're hanging out with your grandbabies. That's what you're doing. You're taking care of your family because you care about that because you're a trad wife. This idea isn't any stupid. The problem is there's so many women, the opposite side, that they're not going to talk about here at all, which are women who have gone the boss babe route and who are unhappy. Obviously, I don't want the all police to come get me, but obviously I have to say it. There are obviously women who have gone the boss babe route and are happy with the boss babe route. Awesome. Good for you. You enjoy the boss babe route. Who's attacking you right now? Where is the videos that are saying all these boss babes are unhappy? You know who does that? Women who are the boss babes who are unhappy themselves. There are videos upon videos upon videos upon videos upon videos of women saying, I'm freezing my eggs now because I can't find a man. I don't know what to do now because I'm 37 and I'm alone. I'm 42 and I'm alone. I'm 55 and I'm alone. I went the boss babe route. It doesn't work. So the same woman who might say, I'm a trad wife and it didn't work out, there's a number of women who I went the boss babe route and it didn't work out. This is angry women because what people know is Women want what other women want. I know that sounds sexist. I don't give a shit. It's true. Women want what other women want. So the more they show this, the more they influence. And the woman actually says so. You'll see.
I think we know.
I've been a stay-at-home mom for the 10 plus years. I have no income. I have no money. 2 weeks ago, he told me that he wants to move forward with divorce.
Tradwife content is propaganda, and women.
Now, see, they call it propaganda. Now, she says, I have no money, I have no nothing. Okay, that's a bad thing, not wrong. He wants to move forward with divorce. What they all say is, if you become a tradwife, this is what the story is. If you become a tradwife, the man will control you and he will divorce you. Utterly false. You look at divorce statistics, it's not even close. About 80% of divorces are initiated by women. About 80%. Cheating rates right now. This is a newer stat. Women now cheat more than men. I'm not making that up. Do your own homework. I'm making it up. That's not how that works. Right now, more women cheat than men. More women are I would say disloyal than men now. That's how that works now. But no, somehow you're becoming a slave.
Who are most at risk for falling for this propaganda are young women and uneducated women.
Rita makes the bread from scratch.
And there comes the next piece. There's a second piece of this too, which is very similar. And this is the passport bros. Some of you may know the passport bros. This is an idea that many American men are leaving the country, getting their passports and trying to find wives overseas, right? Good luck again. You do you. I'm not mad at you. You do you. But you find women, American women, who all they will say is, this is dirty, dusty men nobody wants. Well, then why are you mad if they're only dirty, dusty men? So you're telling yourself. Or second, these are for women who are over there. They're all uneducated and dumb and ignorant. So now you're insulting every woman who is an American. Insult, insult, insult. They're saying the only women who fall for this propaganda, what they always say is women who are uneducated or stupid or ignorant. Well, couldn't you say exactly the same thing? Who fell for the boss babe shit? They don't explain why their way's better or right or anything like that. They say they just go with insult, insult, insult. And this is what drives me crazy, because it goes to politics too. I don't have an answer, so I'll just insult you. Well, you can't go for that because then you'll be ignorant or you're stupid. You're uneducated. That's why you would do it. So the only people who would decide to be a traditional wife is someone who's uneducated. That's it. No one else?
Scratch. It's the kind of thing they like the Marthas to do. A return to traditional values.
Terrifying.
Imagine a life where the morning sun spills through linen curtains onto a farmhouse kitchen. Fresh
Looks
bread
amazing.
cools on the counter, and wildflowers sit in a vase you picked at dawn. Your days are free from deadlines, spent tending a garden, baking from scratch, and watching your children laugh barefoot through golden.
Sounds amazing. Sounds awesome. This is a problem? Now, again, if you look at this and go, I want to live in a city, go live in a city. But it sounds amazing for so many people. Let me grab some comments before I go further. I know it's going to get some people fired up. JJ, thank you for the $2, my friend, over on Rumble. Women who want to choose to stay at home and take care of domestic industry should have the opportunity. Feminists like Simone de Beauvoir did not want the choice to remain for political expediency. Look, the reality is you're right. This is the thing they don't understand. Whenever women attack, and I'm not saying provide choices for women, which is critical, and I 100% agree with. I think most human beings who are savvy know that women should have whatever choices they want, obviously. I hope I don't have to express that. But the point being, they're not doing that. They are saying, you can't be a traditional wife. So they are by default attacking, disparaging, and making less than the labor that traditional women have done throughout the ages. They are making it by default less than. And this is a problem in America that drives me absolutely crazy. This is an American problem. It's a worldwide problem, but this part's heavily American. Anything that is not seen as equal, right? Anything that's not seen as equal is assumed to be less than. This is a serious problem. It cannot be equal and not be less than. It can just be different. Why would I insult traditional things that moms and grandmas have done for centuries? This is what they're doing. They're saying your value, your labor, then this is supposed to the left. I thought labor was important, right? Your labor is not as valuable as a labor of so it is okay, again, in their minds, it is totally okay to go out and work for some other man who gives you money to do a job that makes his company strong, but don't stay at home and work for your man. That's a bad thing. Don't do that, because now you're a slave. So go off and build someone else's company, some other woman or some other man's company. That's fine. Make their company powerful. They'll fire when you want, but don't build your own household, because that's not as valuable. And they do this in a way that's just insulting. And here's the worst part. Women are buying it. They bought the silliness of be a boss babe and everything will be fine. Or the just be a traditional wife, everything will be fine. Look, it's tough either way.
Fields, and every evening ends around a candlelit table. It's a life of simplicity, purpose, and timeless beauty.
It is a life of purpose. If any of you are on TikTok or watch any videos about TikTok or any of those things, what you will see is thousands, I'm not exaggerating, of women who are on TikTok screaming into the void about how they can't stand their jobs, how they don't want to be working, how they don't want to be boss babes anymore. It's everywhere. It is flooding all of TikTok. It's everywhere. Everywhere. But she's talking about that? No. It's only trad wives bad. JJ, thank you again. Check out Adam Lane Smith, attachment specialist. He quotes a stat that a significant majority of women who work and girl boss detest their husbands for not being able to stay home. Yes. And here's the next piece that you might not know. If a woman is a big girl boss, right, and she happens to make more money than her husband, the divorce rate skyrockets. Yes. In fact, if the woman is more educated than her man, divorce rates 90%. She will make a divorce 90% of the time. Yes, that's how bad it is. This boss babe thing isn't perfect either. I'm just saying it. It isn't. And to insult people who say, I'm looking at millennials, I'm looking at Gen Xers, I'm looking at gray divorce with Gen Xers and baby boomers going, I don't want to be there. Why would I want to be there? I'm looking at millennials who can't find men to marry. Gen Zers are going, you know what? I'm going to look for a millennial man. He's 10 years older than me. He can't stand his own millennial women because they're all boss babes. He hates them, so he doesn't want to date any of them. So what does he do? He wants to find someone else. He's going to date older or he's going to date younger. If he dates older, he's playing with her because he's not going to marry because he wants children. So then he goes younger. He goes to Gen Z and goes, I'll just date Gen Z. They're younger. They want to have kids. They don't want to boss babe me all day long. I'll date them. And that's what's happening. And millennial women are really unhappy about it. They are really unhappy about it because they think, well, where's my guy? Your guy's dating a Gen Zer. You guy doesn't want the guy who you want doesn't want a boss babe. And that's the problem. It's finding it everywhere. Now, again, not all women want relationships. Good on you. Again, no judgment here. I'm talking facts, and stop thinking that because someone thinks feminism is going to work doesn't mean it will. The concept of feminism was supposed to be, and if you ask the old school feminists from the 70s, they told you this, it wasn't to make women better than men. It was to give women equal rights under the law as men, which I hope there's no one watching who thinks that's a bad idea. I hope I don't have to discuss this. But the reality of it is, for those of you who don't know, 50 years ago, 60 years ago, 70 years ago, if you were a woman, it was hard to get around on a man. It was tough. It was tough to buy property. It was tough to get credit. It was tough to get a loan. It was tough to get a job. It was tough to get promoted. All those things were very difficult. And all the pain and anguish that women talked about, right, true, yes, accurate, no argument. Today, that's just a fantasy. That's a fantasy. Women under 35 make more money, have a higher chance of getting hired, have more friends, have more boyfriends, have more sex, have more property, have a higher chance of owning a house, owning a car. They are killing it. Under 35, there is no patriarchy. That is a thing they made up. Under 35. If you're over 40, you saw patriarchy. You're over 50, yes, you did. Over 60, 70, you lived in a patriarchy. I get it. I'm saying under 35, that shit does not exist. It's not a thing anymore. And they're still trying to act like they're all victims at 30. They're not. And now people are recognizing, wait a minute, maybe this trad wife thing wasn't bad. And then what's the next thing you find people? Oh, I'm in trouble? Let's go on OnlyFans. You're seeing that everywhere. I said it. Oh my God, now I'm getting canceled. OF. Sorry. Rick says, I think the trad wife thing is a cosplay of a time that was never that good for women, though it was great for families. Well, I think it depends how you look at it, right? What were your goals? There are some women to this day are happy trad wives, some who aren't. The question is, what is your goal as a woman? But there's a second piece. And she's going to bring this up, but she'll ignore it. She'll say it and then kind of dodge it. There can be different times of your life as a woman. You can decide, I want to have kids early and then be a boss babe later in life. You can decide, I want to be a boss babe early in life and have children later in life. Both of those are options for you too. What's that old saying? You can have it all, but not at the same time. Those are options for women too, right? Why can't a woman say, hey, I'm 19, I got energy, I'm young, let me have a couple babies. They'll be out of the house when I'm 30. I'll go to college at 30 and I'll go be a boss babe, run a business, whatever. If I'm healthy, I'll live till I'm 70 or 80 or 90 maybe. I'll have a great, boss babe life then. Possible, right? Possible. My biggest worry about this is the cosplay piece, Rick Paul, is a lot of these people who are going on TikTok, they're not really traditional. They're not. It's for clicks. And that's the part that I think a lot of people aren't even bringing up. They're thinking all these trad wives are real. It's TikTok. I'm sure some of it's real. How much of it's real and how much is cosplay? I agree. Yes. Rick Paul says women didn't have the convenience to take for granted today. 100%. No argument at all, Rick Paul. You are correct. That was a big problem. Not so much anymore. Not so much anymore. Doc says, ag menacing charge drops trespassing. I pled no contest, 30 minutes, no fine. Oh, nice. Congrats. All righty. Let's see here. Kinsley says, I don't ever expect or want to be a trad wife. You don't have to be. And this is the glory, Kinsugi. I'm glad you're watching it. This is the glory. You have several options with your life. You can decide to be a trad wife early in life and go be a boss babe later. Be a boss babe early in life. Have a trad wife later in life. You could decide to be a trad wife for your entire life or a boss babe your whole life or any other combination or mix or none of the above. That's what has happened in America today. That's not true in all countries, obviously, right? Not in all countries, but we're talking about America. In America, you can do as you see fit. And that's amazing. So why are we shitting on women who want to go do this? I don't understand this. Why are we? So, yeah, let me keep going here if I could.
Now imagine the 16-year-old watching this on TikTok and believing it's actually real. Well, that is what we're dealing with today, because despite the fact that the leaders of the trad wife movement have since denounced their titles, the trend hasn't died. The preteens watching during this era have been taking note, and as they've
the preteens have been taking note. Oh my God.
Come of age are taking action. That's right. These girls raised on the teat of millennial girl boss CEOs are doing
CEOs, raised on the teat of girl boss CEOs. She said it. I didn't say it. Her words. Yeah. So with that in mind, maybe they don't like certain outcomes. You are seeing that in many young people, particularly with divorce. For those you don't know, in America now, this is the hardest thing in America now. If you are a child and you are raised until 18 in a household with your biological mother and father in the household until you're 18, you are now in America the minority. Congratulations, America. That is now the minority in America. Most kids now raised today do not have their biological mother and father in the household until they're 18. Well, they're watching that and going, why do I want that? What did my mom do? What did my dad do? I don't do that. So men, young men are looking and going, my dad went and got married. Mom worked, he worked, they fought, they got divorced. It was a terrible battle. I saw it in family court. I began to hate one of my parents, whichever one I decided to hate or whatever happened in my world. And now I'm trying to fight to keep them together. Oh my God, all terrible. Why would I want to get married now? And why do you think so many men don't want to get married now? And then women saying the same thing. Wait a minute. I watched my mom go off and be boss babe, make money. And now she's divorced, 45 and alone and mad and angry at all men and hates men. Why would I want to do that? Or now I hate men too. Everybody's losing. So I have an idea. Let's let people do what they want to do and stop shitting on them when they try to find happiness. Life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness, unless you do what I don't want you to do.
A complete 180 from their mother's generation, turning up their noses at the rat race in exchange for a simple domestic life. But it's one that comes with real consequences that they can't simply walk away from when they change their mind.
You mean like college debt? Oh, you didn't say that, did you? Did you mean like going off and dating literally hundreds of men to where older men now don't want you anymore, which happens all the time? You mean like that? Those types of things you can't go back on? Or deciding that you don't need no man, so you become a baby mama of 3 different dads because you don't need no man and you can't go back on that either? You mean all those things? All of them have consequences.
So let's get into it. The deeper story of how teenage girls got here and why this seemingly idyllic lifestyle can be far more dangerous than...
It's dangerous. Never forget that word. You will always hear that word from the left. This is a left word. It's not a right word. It's unless, well, when the right gets woke, once in a while, the right will get a little wokey. When the right gets a little wokey, it just happens to them. Again, the right does virtue signal. The left just virtue signals so much more. I mean, so much more. So, but every once in a while, you see the right get a little wokey and do like, it's dangerous once in a while. But generally speaking, the left will always say something's dangerous. I feel unsafe. Something's dangerous. That's violence. Yeah, it's none of those things. This is not dangerous. She makes that up to make you feel like we got to stop it. We got to go do something. Rick Buss says it bothers the abolished the family left. True. Absolutely. Ronna says there's no question that trad wives before feminism was tough, but so is being a trad husband. But the feminist movement has devolved into a shit show. True. Yeah. I mean, they act like, all right, here's that people, I'm going to defend men here. Men have the hardest jobs in the world. No, Larry, the hardest job is a mom. Shut up. No, it isn't. Stop that virtue signaling garbage. No, it isn't. So it's harder to be a mom than to be a logger. It's harder to be a mom than it is to be a rigger out on the on the ocean. It's harder to be a mom. There's at least 3 billion moms on the planet. It's not hard to be a mom. Stop your virtue signaling. It's not. Men have harder jobs. Men, it's harder to be a mom than to be a soldier in Ukraine right now, or a soldier in the Middle East. Harder to be a mom than that. Shut up. Stop. How many moms are dying in Ukraine compared to how many men are dying in Ukraine? Stop. So I don't want to hear that garbage. That's more virtue signaling stuff. No, it's not that way at all. Men had a hard time to and still do. So just to be clear about that. Thank you, Bronner. It's been hard for men too. Don't get me wrong. The 1%, and here's the part that I think most of us I wish we'd understand. The top 1% on our planet, which is the ones that we should be against. This should not be a gender issue. This should not be a race issue. If anything, it should be a class issue. If anything, it should be a class issue. They keep making us fight on race, or making us fight on religion, or making us fight on gender, when it's the 1% that control the goddamn world. What are we doing? I'm mad at women because you're feminist. Be mad at the guy up top who's screwing everybody over. Now, those top guys, most of them are men. I mean, there's a couple women, but it's 90% men. So people get mad at the patriarchy because the 1% are males. Awesome. I'm not mad at you for that. That makes total sense. Be mad at the 1%. But if you're not a 1% male, you're being screwed too. The 99% of men who aren't the 1% are also being screwed. Not just you women, us too. So we're all being screwed by the top 1% men. So why are you punishing us? Because we're here. So yes. JJ, I appreciate the rumble rants, my friend. How many men are considered too nice and stuck in a friend zone? All over the place. How many modern women would rather have a congenial with Luigi or a Tyler than stuck with a nice guy all the time. And if you think that's not true, you're fooling yourself. Why do we have that? What's that show? Oh, my friend was telling me about this. Love After Lockdown or something. I'm messing it up, but I haven't seen the show, but I've heard about it. This is literally women who are literally dating men in prison. They would rather date men in prison than nice guys. It's so popular. There's a show. It's so popular. Women do this that there's a, I forgot what it's called, but there's actually a thing. I forgot what it's called. There's actually there's a name for it. That's how popular it is. Women love bad boys. Love them. Not all women, obviously. So women in general. There's always exceptions. I don't want the all police come after me as they always do. So yes, but it's a valid point. It's a valid point. So look, it's hard for everybody is my point. So, alrighty.
And they realize.
Now, see, she makes it like it's a conspiracy. Start them young. It's a conspiracy. Who's the conspiracy? Who is it? Is it, I don't know, big flour so you can bake? Like, who's the conspiracy? Where's the conspiracy? Is it big dress so you can wear dresses? There's no conspiracy. She's making this up.
Something I've never shared here before is that one of the main reasons why I switched my content over to video essays was because of the trad wife trend, which I guess means I owe them a thanks, but either way.
So she's doing it, but don't do it.
It was back in 2022 when I noticed the momfluencer space was beginning to shift. The influencers I watched were slowly changing their video style, creating more content around cooking from scratch, canning and preserving, sewing their own clothes, and ultimately moving to acreages. These were.
And why was this a bad thing? Kintsugi says, my grandma cautioned me against marrying young. She got married at 19, but it was just a different time. Yeah, my mom got married young too. She was 17 when she got married, 18. She was young too. Yeah. It was a different way of doing things. And again, not a bad thing, right? The issue is, the question you don't know, Kintsugi, is, was there a man there around you at 19? I know you're not 19 now, but who would have loved you? I don't know this question. Like, I have no idea what the answer is. But is there a man that was around at that time in your area who knew you, who would have loved you and taken care of you and in a trad wife tradition? I don't know. That man may not have existed there for you. So maybe you had no choice. Maybe that man didn't exist. Did he exist? And if he did, were you interested in him? Was he someone you get along with? Someone you could love? Who knows? It's easy to say don't do, but are the people there who would even do it? A lot of men, if you meet a lot of men today, they can't afford trad wife. I don't mean to be mean. I'm just being forward. Many of them can't, right? The average man in America makes what, 50 grand a year? How are you going to have a lifestyle in America with 50 grand a year when your wife doesn't work and you have children? I mean, unless you're going to live on a farm. I mean, and again, if you're going to be that kind of person, you have to be the kind of woman who's going to be okay with that. Now, some women love it. Some women are happy. Put them on a farm. They don't care. Chickens and cows. Great. Not all women want that. Someone would say, I'm not going to do that. I don't want that kind of lifestyle. Well, there's only a certain number of men out there who can afford that. So you meet a man. So your grandma might have said, don't get married, because maybe the man around you at that time, maybe those men in your area weren't able to take a trad wife. Maybe you still had to work like anyone else. And then maybe expect to take care of kids, the whole deal. So it isn't only what you want, as I hope we all get what we want. It's also what's there for you, right? What's around you and what will you want? Just because some guy might have been there, again, sake of argument, maybe there was a guy there who was prepared to make money and take care of you. Maybe you didn't like him. Maybe he wasn't a good guy. Maybe you couldn't have got along. I don't think it's that easy. That's all I'm saying.
Women whose content I'd watched for years, all migrating in the same direction of linen dresses and a sudden urge to own chickens.
200. Which means that they probably weren't trad wives. They probably just saw what the cool thing was of the day and said, this will get me clicks. And they went that route, which is back to Rick Pa's point. How much of this is just cosplay, right? How much is cosplay?
In 35 acres. We farming our own chickens, homie.
See that?
Thousands of chickens, thousands. Running around everywhere, quack, quack, quack.
It felt like
Quack,
such an
quacky
out of
ducks.
left field change that at the time I didn't expect and honestly couldn't wrap my head around. And I was like, why is no one talking about this? Well, of course, they eventually did as the term tradwife became popularized as a way to categorize this phenomenon. But even though the subject of tradwives wasn't my first video essay.
But that piece, again, why are you angry? Why are they so bothered? Let women be what they want to be. Mike says, much in the same way that progressives demand blacks to be Democrats, women are told they can't be tradwives. It's about compliance and indoctrination, not what makes women or blacks happy long-term. On the money, correct, Mike. 100%. On the money. It is, how dare you not be the woman that I think you should be. That is what it is. I'm not, if this is what we're minutes into this video. Where is the, it doesn't work because, where's the logical argument, Mike? There isn't one. It's how dare you? You're stupid. You're ignorant. You're wrong. You are correct. Oh, Braun's with you. Exactly right, Mike. Yes. 100%. 100%. Kinsley says, exactly. You'll have progress in any choice. Yes. Life is about making choices, in which case you will lose other opportunity. Opportunity costs in business are also the same in life. Kinsley, if you decided to marry some guy at 19, you would have lost certain amounts of freedom, because getting married, you lose some certain freedoms, right? You just do. Are you okay with that? Nothing wrong with that, but just make the decision. When I joined the Marine Corps, I lost tons of freedoms. Mike was a Marine. He knows you lose lots of freedom when you join the Marine Corps, but I voluntarily did it and it was worth it. I'm glad I did it. No difference. I completely agree. You make trade-offs.
As the concept was still brewing, it did launch me into exploring other cultural topics, all the while keeping my eye on these Little House on the Prairie-esque women.
And it looks very nice. John says it. Neither. It's a decision, and every decision has consequences. 100% true. Robin says, true feminism is being strong to choose being a tradwife if a woman wants to be that. Yes. Yes. Do as you see fit. 100% true. Yes. Cage says, taking a break from making dinner to say, glad I'm old. You know, Cage John, I'm sorry, Cage Stone. I should just call you Cage. Sometimes I think the same way. Like, do I want to be dating 20-somethings now? No. No. I agree.
But since then, I figured the discussion of tradwives was over and done with. Like, we covered it, and we understand why some women are turning to this lifestyle. As said here, it's about a return to traditional femininity and an idealized version of womanhood.
And the reason why so many men, this is to JJ's point, the reason why so many men like this concept is naturally, if you are a heterosexual female, you tend to like masculinity. If you're heterosexual male, you tend to like femininity. That's just how it works. Or you're not heterosexual, right? So most men who are heterosexual like feminized women. Most women today, and when I say most, I mean most, they have abandoned feminism in many ways, aspects of their life. They use it when they want to and often abandon it completely. Well, then men go, I don't like that. And then women go, well, you're weak or you're insecure or you're whatever insult they use. They insult the man and the man goes, I'm gonna go someplace else. Thanks. And they leave. And then some of them go into their basement, never come out. Some of them start dating younger women and you start seeing it happen. And they look for tradwives, right? The problem is the tradwife requires a lot too. It's not like a tradwife. As I mentioned, if you want a traditional wife, you have to make enough cash and or have enough resources to make that happen and be able to deal with a traditional wife who's going to say, I need you to do X, Y, and Z. Not all men are ready for that. Brana says, when I think of a traditional wife, I think of a woman who's able to stay home and take care of home if that's what she wants. The only women who are able to do that are wealthy women, and they don't want it. Yeah, see, there's the point. If you're a wealthy woman, you're probably a boss babe unless you inherited your money in some way, shape, or form, right? Some women do. If you happen to be a woman who inherited your money, okay, maybe you want to be a traditional wife because you've inherited your money, perhaps. But the odds are you're going to want a man who doesn't want you for your money. So you're going to want a man who's wealthier than you, probably. I mean, again, it's not 100% rule, but it's a good general rule. Usually women want men who have more resources than they do. That's a general truth. So even if you inherited your money, maybe your mom or dad was rich, right? And they passed away and they give you a bunch of money and you can stay home and take care of kids if you want to. Okay, great. But are you gonna, okay, because I'm a rich woman, do I now want a poor guy? Because I can afford it. Let me grab a poor guy and I'll stay home and he'll go get a job that makes 40 grand a year and we'll live off my wealth. That's not a thing, really. I mean, it could happen, I guess, but that's not a thing. So you're going to want even a wealthier guy. So a wealthy woman is probably not going to do this. You're right. So she has to be able to accept a wealthy man. That also comes with issues. I have 2 daughters and I'm very forward with them. And I say, look, if you want, and you see the videos, oh, I want a billionaire. I want a man who can buy me cars and yachts. Okay, I'm not mad at you for that. You do you. But if you want a man, you're a woman, and you want a man who can buy you yachts and whatever, all that kind of good stuff, that man has a massive ego. Are you prepared to be married to and live with a man with a massive ego? If you go, yes, good for you. Go do it. Look at Melania Trump. Well done. Lives with a man with a massive ego. And First Lady of the United States twice. Good on you. If you're okay with that, I'm not mad at you. But don't fool yourself. Think, well, I deserve some man who makes $1 gazillion, but I'm not prepared to put up with a big ego. You got the wrong man, my dear. That's not how that works. So to your point, Brana, if you're a woman who wants to be a trad wife, no problem. There's a kind of man you're going to have to put up with. And she doesn't mention that. That's the issue. Are you as a woman, if you want to be a trad wife, prepared to put up with a man who can do the things that you want him to do? And that man in today's world probably has a pretty big ego. Now, some women love that. Some women love a man with a big ego. They love it. They eat it up. Happy to have it. And if you're the kind of woman, good on you. But tough. Robin says, my parents trained me to be a trad wife, then came the feminist movement. It was confusing, swearing that being a trad wife was bad. Yes. And to be forward, it's not bad. It's a choice. And Orang says, where are these cheating women? Names. And what names? No, not really. It's not worth the hassle. True. Yeah, I'll tell you the women that are doing it. It's most women. All over the place. All over the place. Yes. And they'll get mad at you and they'll go, why didn't you tell me you were married? Why didn't you tell me you were married? Yeah.
That looks straight out of the 1950s. Soft pastels, vintage dresses, homemade bread, babies carried all day.
Why would this look good? This is, I think, to maybe Rick Pa's point, that it wasn't that great. Why does this look good? Here's the reason why I keep saying it. Because we're unhappy and we're looking to the past for some glorious past that we can get to be happy again. You hear me speak all the time about happiness. This is a perfect example of it. The reason why we're not happy, and the reason why we want this, is because we're not happy. Happy people don't look to the past for magic. Happy people don't look for the future for socialism. Happy people live in the present with their family and friends. This is what I'm trying to achieve. This is what I'm talking about. Mike says, well, Larry, women have the college and movies like Supergirl trying to convince them to be messy, drunk, slovenly, and hoes, as if that's what happiness is. It's ultimately self-destructive. True. Some of you may be angry. You may be angry when I say this and go, oh, no, Larry, women can be as drunk and slovenly and as loose as they want to be, and they can be happy. Studies show statistically that's not true. Again, are there some women who do not care about relationships and just want to be on their own or want to be a boss babe? Yes, those are a minority of women. Most women, and again, study after study shows this, most women would like to have a relationship, and talking heterosexual, obviously. Most heterosexual women, even to be forward, even homosexual women still want to have a relationship. So most women want to have a relationship. Most women want to have children. Gay or straight, most women still want to have children. Most want to have a family. This is a fact. They still want to, even though, to Mike's point, and this is to Bronner's point, the destroy the family, left hates it, right? Most women still want a relationship and family. That's true. Most do want it. But the more drunk and slovenly and hoish you are, the lower those chances are. You've lowered your odds. Doesn't mean you won't do it. It lowers the chances because the men are going to go, I don't want that. I'm sorry, it's not true. Sorry. The men are going to say, I would like to sleep with that. I don't want to commit to that. So be clear. And there are too many people who think, well, because I can sleep with hot men, therefore I can get hot men to commit. Nuh-uh. They're two separate things. So, yes. Kinsugi says, sounds peaceful. I know. What's wrong with it? Yes. No, he says, 80% may be initiated by women. Ever ask when a trad wife would want to divorce a good man? So my question is, how low is the man she's divorcing? He's been groundwork in a marriage before. No, you are, the data is in. The data is in, Nosy. Women cheat more than men. Again, this is new data. Older women, not as much. We're talking younger women. Women cheat more than men. The data is in. If you want to, a simple Google search, ChatGPT search will show younger women. Again, there is a massive generation gap. Younger women absolutely cheat more than men. Younger women cheat, and then that's why they take advantage of. There are so many men who are against no-fault divorce. And women get mad because go, well, wait a minute, that means women are getting trapped. Why so many men are against it is so many women, particularly younger ones, are using it as a way of cheating and still getting half of the man's stuff. That's a common problem that men see, and that's why they get angry at it. So yeah, the reality of it is the women are less. Again, new stats. This is not old school. If you're 40, 50, 60, 70, you're say 40 and under, women are cheating more than men. It's absolutely true. That's what's happening now. The tide has turned, if that makes any sense. So yeah. Bernard says, modern feminism has become one part of the agendas for the family and make everyone reliant on government. Also true. Yes.
Gardens and laundry hanging in the sun, women tidying spotless homes while their husbands work outside. The music is soft, the light is golden, and the message is clear. Happiness lives in domestic perfection.
Happiness.
Cool, except that wasn't the end of it. In fact, as we now know, the movement is growing with a new generation.
Yes, it's moving. Rob says, my brilliant, truly feminist daughter is a trad wife, and my grandkids are the happiest. Most well-adjusted children I know. Yes, both my daughters are traditional. I'm a libertarian, and both my daughters are looking to be traditional wives. I didn't tell them to. All I did was I did my best to give them a good example of what masculinity is. My best that I could do. And I hope it makes them find good men. That is my hope. That's all I can do. So, yes.
Generation leading the charge.
I'm 19 years old, married, no degree, no 9 to 5, and I'm exactly where I want to be.
And boy, there are people who got mad at her and she knows it, which is why I think to your point, Rick Paul, this might be cosplay. This might be rage bait. Right now, she'll use this in the video to say, see, she's ignorant and dumb, to insult her. But this might be rage bait because she says this to make sure women go, how dare you? You're a slave. That's what it's used.
Let me answer all your questions. Yes, I got engaged at 18, married at 19. I didn't go to college. I don't plan to. I don't have a degree. I don't have a job, and I'm not getting one. I love to cook for my husband. I love to host. I love to run our home.
And the thing is, there are women who love to do this, would love to do this. But when other women who don't do this hear this, they don't go, good on you, good luck, hope it works for you, which is what I do. Good luck, hope it works. No. And she knows it, which is why I think half of this trad wife shit's just rage bait.
Things I'm very passionate about. I get asked about this a lot, but me and my husband dated for 6 weeks before getting engaged. Also, yes, me and my husband do have an age gap. He is 10 years older than me.
This is the part you keep saying, and women hate this. I don't know why women hate. I'm sorry, that's not true. Older women hate this. How the world works now, to my earlier point, if you want to be a traditional wife, how many 20-something men can do that? They don't have the resources. They don't make the money. They're still in college. How can they possibly support a traditional wife? They can't. So if you're a young woman and you want a traditional relationship, you're going to have to date older because the men don't have the resources younger. They just don't have it. The men have to work unless they happen to be wealthy and they inherit their wealth or something. Then, of course, obviously. But unless they got insanely lucky or inherited their wealth, there's no way they can take care of you. You have to date older men, and women get mad. Why are you mad? The woman wants a traditional lifestyle. In today's world, there's not a 22-year-old who can do it. And if he is, he's Elon Musk's son, right? It doesn't exist.
Something that I really should have seen coming is that this wouldn't stop with millennials, and the teens would be next in line to embrace their traditional roles as
because they see happiness. This is the part, because they see happiness. People want to be happy. What do they see with the boss babe? I'm tired of my job and I had to tell him this and I told him that. The man can't meet my standards and I need standards. I'm 35 and I'm freezing my eggs. I'm 40 and I'm freezing my eggs. That's what they see from the boss babes. That's what they see. The trad wife is like, I'm happy baking a pie or whatever. So they see happiness. It isn't that they're being brainwashed. It's what they see as happiness. And young people, men included. Why do you think men like the Andrew Tates of the world? Because he's got his car and his girls and he's cool and I want to be cool like him. He acts like he's that. Now he's in jail, he ain't happy. But I'm saying they see that and go, well, I'll be that guy. That guy's happy. Let's go do him.
Women. Because for the past 5 years, all this messaging about giving up your independence and dreams to serve your
there it is. There is the lie. Right there. There is the lie. Giving up your dreams and independence to serve your husband. Do you see how they use these words to scare you? Now, if you're actually giving up your dreams and giving up your independence to serve your husband, that would be a terrible thing. I hope my daughters don't do that. That would be a bad thing. But if you're taking charge of your family because that matters to you, that's a wonderful thing. But she didn't say that. Did she say that? Did she say, hey, if you're deciding that what you care about most is family and you want to make sure you have a support structure because you grew up without one, because your mom and dad aren't together and because they hate each other and because when you were in trouble, you were screwed and you couldn't find your goddamn dad and because you got two baby daddies and neither one likes you and you got harassed or even essayed by your stepdad, which happens all the goddamn time, and maybe you'd like to not have that. And maybe you would like to have a family with a bunch of kids that can support each other and a husband who loves you and support the family so you don't get divorced, so you don't have to be baby daddies, so you don't have the system that's happening in America all around the world. She didn't say that. Giving up your dreams, independence, and serving your husband. Who said that? She did. To make you feel bad.
Husband hasn't just been served to new moms, it's also reaching the kids on these apps, taking in their algorithms as gospel.
But when the boss babes did it, it was okay? Because they did it too. This is my point. They did it too. The boss babes also did it. Right? That's the issue. The boss babes also did it. Mrs. I never wanted to be a boss. I just went on a team. A lot of people want that. Then be on a team, Missy. I'm with you. Absolutely. So, $5 I wish we had old people working as matchmakers. They can see compatibility and pass down wisdom beyond attractiveness. Marriage is a joint venture. Yes, I think you still see it in China today. You still see it in India today also. East Asia and South Asia, you do still see matchmakers. It still exists. Hardly ever around here now. I think that's the future. Because I think we are becoming so unhappy and we're not pair bonding anymore. Men don't like women. Women don't like men. I think the future is matchmakers. And I think it's family matchmakers. Not just like I pay someone. The paid matchmaking is going away. That's impossible. Because when you pay someone a matchmaker, you want magic. I'm writing you a check. Find me the magic person. That ain't going to happen. It's not reality. Not going to happen at all. But when it's family, they say, stop being stupid. I'm your uncle. Stop being stupid. I'm your grandma. Stop being stupid. I'm your cousin. This guy, this gal, she's good enough for you. Stop being a jerk. He's good enough for you. Stop being stupid. They start doing that. And because they're family, you might listen. The guy you pay or the gal you pay, you ain't listening. You take your money back. He didn't work for me. He didn't find the perfect woman or the perfect guy for me. Yeah, when family go, Phil, stop being a dummy. She's fine. Take her. Stop being stupid. And when whatever, the girl's uncle goes, stop being, Phil's fine. Stop being stupid. Take him. They might. So, but the next part is if you have family, they then support you. So your life isn't so damn hard. What do we have now? Here we have it where guy, again, finds a woman he loves or cares about. She gets married to him. They move off to some city. They're all by themselves. They don't have any support structure. Family doesn't care. Of course you collapse. Of course you collapse.
Meaning that by the time they turn 18, they already know exactly what they want to do with their lives, devoting themselves to a man and having as many babies as they can.
See, devoting themselves to a man. That's not what it was about. And here, this is what I love. She's the one who fights the idea of voting. She's going to talk about it. And she brings it up about, oh, they don't want to vote, blah, 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 blah. Well, you're 18, don't know anything. You're an adult at 18. Now, unless you want to say all adults are at 21, I'm not mad at that. I'm past 21. So if you want to go there, I'm fine. Go. You're not adults, you're 21. Okay. Pass that law. I don't care. I'm past 21. My oldest is already past 21 too. So all good. I don't mind. Do what you want. But if you're going to say you're an adult at 18 and you go off and have sex with 25 men or do OF at 18, you can do that. That's fine. But devoting yourself to family, that's evil. That's evil. Don't you dare. I can't say a word when some girl wants to go off to college and have sex with the football team. That's fine. That's empowering. But wanting to get married, what a terrible human being she is. How dare you? Or she wants to go into $100,000 in debt and can't get a job and now has to be a barista and decides to not pay her for her college debt. Now she's in big trouble. That's fine. She's 18. She's an adult. But doing this is wrong. Why is this wrong? Versus instead, you decide to go out, get pregnant with that, because I don't need no man. And now you got 2 baby daddies, and you wonder why you can't find a man because no one will take you seriously because you got 2 baby daddies at 22 years old. Larry, that's not fair. It's still true. Most men that women want will look at a woman who's in her 20s with 2 baby daddies and say, that's recreational use only. And that sounds horrible. That's reality. How do I know that? Look online. It's everywhere. Look on the apps. Look on YouTube. Look on YouTube. It's on TikTok. It's everywhere. So why is that okay? And my answer is, as always, you do you. I'm not mad at you, but she's mad. I'm mad at her. I'm not mad at the woman who decides to be a boss babe or the woman who wants to be a traditional wife. I'm not mad at them. I'm mad at her who's going to sit here, lie about being a trad wife, say it's bad, but not say anything about the people who do other things. Just this. This is bad. Only this. So yes. JJ hitting it again. Thank you over on Rumble. Matchmaking can be seen as another extreme permissible racial. What? Can be seen as another extreme? Really? I've never seen it as that. Okay, look, JJ, if you know something I don't know, I'm happy to hear it. I've never heard of that before. I've always thought people like matchmakers. I've always seen that. I think family matchmaking is better. So yes. Adirang says they choose the bear. Yes. And for those who don't remember this went viral, what, 3 years ago, Adirondack? Is that about right? A couple years back, it went viral. It was a question that was put up on like TikTok or something. And it was, I'm going to paraphrase, I don't remember it exactly. Something like, if you were stuck in the woods, would you rather meet a man or a bear? And the vast majority of women just took a dump on men. And it was like viral. Of course, a bear, man, big. And a lot of men, that's why you bring it up. That hurt a lot of men. And women, when men said that, so many women were like, that's because you're insecure. And they just doubled down and insulted. And that turned so many men off. And if you've noticed, any of you watch this kind of content, women's content, male content, I watch all of this stuff. So if you watch any, I get it sent to me almost every week. Someone sends me something like this almost every week. So when I watch these things, very common in the comments will be just what I already said. They chose the bear. Go choose the bear. When women are going, where are all the good men? Go choose the bear. Why aren't men doing so-and-so? Go choose the bear. You see it all the time in the comments. You didn't want us. So now we don't come anymore. All the time. Yes. Kintsugi says, no millennial men, don't date Gen Z, date me. Well, there we go. Get yourself out there more. Maybe they will. There we go. D says, being a trad wife is not our roses and cupcakes either. Yes, true. Let the anti-trad wife come be in the house with 5 screaming kids running around from 2 to 12 years old. That's something under control. And this is my entire point, D. To attack the trad wife is to say that the work that women have done traditionally for millennia is somehow not as valuable as the work men have done. It's just not true. It's valuable. It's keeping the family together. It's the reason why we move forward. It's just as valuable. It's different. Doesn't make it less than. It's not real. JJ, again, thank you for $1. Well, matchmaking of some being of a similar culture. Oh, preservation of racial. Okay, I got it. Yes. Correct, yes. Thank you, JJ. What I think he means by this is in certain cultures, matchmaking is done to keep the family pure or the race pure. That is true in some cultures. That's accurate. You can see it. Or keeping people at the right class. Absolutely, like caste, in case of India, could be that too. Yes, gaining money for the family. Absolutely true. Absolutely true. Yes, could be done. But here will be my pushback on that, JJ. While you're right, that does happen and has happened in the past, and I'm sure in some areas of Southern Asia and East is still being done. Right now, East Asia has the lowest birth rate in the world, South Korea, in the world. The Korean country is going to collapse because there aren't enough young people to work. I'm not joking. Schools are closing. If my choice is keep that or get matchmakers who some might be racist, I'll take the sometimes racist matchmakers because the alternative is horrible. So you're not wrong, but right now I'm looking for options and I would take that one. I would take that option if that's what I had. So yes. Andrea says, I appreciate the feminist movement, but it's gone too far. I agree. I agree with you. I agree with you because it's gone from, look, men, step aside. Women deserve exactly the same rights as you. We deserve to be able to do what we want to do, just like you do. We get to do that, which is fair. And I'm stepping aside. Yes, you win. I'll walk away. You win. To we're better than you. We don't need you. And if you think I'm making this up, again, look at the stats right now. Young women compared to young men hate men. Relative. Men don't hate women. Even young men who are being dismissed by women, they just don't care. Young men just checked out. They don't hate women. No, they just don't care. Like, whatever, women, whatever. I don't care. Then I ask them out, not talking to them. Whatever. They exist. But they're not into them. But women hate men compared to young men. It's true. The data is everywhere. So Rona says, I like older women over younger women, maybe because I'm old, but I don't want kids, and younger people in general are just too stupid. Well, the funny part is, most don't know this, most people like younger people. So if you look at older women, many of them date younger men. They like younger, hotter men, like older women, like men like younger, hotter women. It's human. It's not you, Rona. It's human. Most people like younger people. Some don't. Some like dating older. But generally speaking, if you're a 40, 50, 60 something, you like 20, 30, 40 somethings. Whether you're a man or woman, you tend to like younger. That's a tendency. Now, generally speaking, it is socially okay to make certain changes here or there, right? Within age gaps. Society makes changes. But generally speaking, people like younger. It's just true. Notice it says gender wars began in the 60s. Then in the 70s, they put moms to work and programmed the kids with TV. It destroyed us. We were called feminazis in the 80s. Yes. Knows you've hit it right. I feel like, and I think this is true, women were socially forced and financially forced into the workforce. This should have happened more gradually as women made decisions to do so. There are a lot of women today, if you ask them, you look around, you'll see a lot of women who act very masculine. And you ask them, wow, why are you so masculine? You tell them, they might get mad at you, but they'll say, I have to be, I need to be. And they're not lying to you. A lot of women feel like they have to be the boss babe to get ahead. They have to be the boss babe to take care of themselves. They have to be the boss babe to make the money they want. I get it. I'm not mad at them for it. I'm disappointed because you shouldn't have to be a boss babe. You should want to be one. You shouldn't have to go to work. You should want to. And we're not there. Our society has changed that. Our financial structure has changed that. Our tax structure has changed that, right? Our culture has changed that. You are correct, Nosy. Women should have moved to the workforce as they saw fit. When they wanted to, how they wanted to, when that happened. That did not happen. That did not happen. You're correct. I agree with you completely. I wish it wasn't. So, Adironic says, I had always thought I would take the trad wife position if some woman would support me. I'm too old for that deal now. Well, it depends on a woman. How hot are you, Adirondack? There's an old saying, there's no such thing as bad behavior, just unattractive man behavior. So if you're hot enough, maybe some older woman will be your sugar mama. Maybe. It exists out there. Good luck. Hope you find it. So Robin goes, because of failed marriage, I had to be a boss babe. Wow. You literally, this is what I just said, to support my children without relying on some sort. I don't regret it, but I'd love to be a trad wife. I agree with you. Yes, a lot of women feel like they had to, and some had to. But whether you have to or not, if you feel like you have to, you do it. And it's the wrong reason to do it, right? It's the wrong reason. Nosy goes, disagree, Larry. The women's rights was designed to destroy the family. Oh, they had to make it look like it was a women's rights movement. I disagree, Larry. The women's rights was designed to destroy the family. You may be right. I don't want to believe that. I don't like that. That's all I'm gonna tell you. I'm not saying you're wrong. I don't like it. I don't want to. Okay, here's what I'll say. Let me see if I can somehow make this work in my mind and not feel bad about this. I think the leaders, the top people moving things in a women's rights movement did think that. Destroy the family, get them working, taxpayers, all that kind of good stuff. I agree. But I think the average woman who was marching and supporting was saying, why the hell can't I buy land in half the states? Why won't a bank see me? Why would a bank give me a credit card? I think most individual foot soldiers, the women foot soldiers in the movement were like, and men too. I mean, there were men there going, why can't my wife get a goddamn credit card? Right? Like, I think they thought that. How about that? Does that work? The foot soldier didn't think that, but the leader probably did. There we go. Now, even if it's wrong, I feel better. So, and all that matters is my feels. That'll make Mike angry. So, yes. Phil says, oh, thank you for gifting membership, my friend. Thank you. Appreciate it. Absolutely. Mike says, Larry, progressive ideology lives eternally in the past. For blacks, their world was always 1860. For women, always 1920. Zero recognition of any changes or advancements of societal improvement. All right, so here's what I'll say to this. It's a combo. It lives in a true past that does not recognize progression, yes, and a fictional future where things will magically be better. How about that? So progressives think that everything in the past was bad. The best of America is way ahead of us, and that America was never that good. Cuomo said so himself. You remember that, Mike? I know you do. Cuomo said that. Never that good. He said that. So, and they look at the worst parts of America and go, see, look, to your point, 1860 if you're black, 1919 if you're a woman. And they go, see, that's America. Well, that is what America was. True. Well, we got to make it so much better. You're right. They don't recognize advance, which drives me crazy. They should say, look, well, here's my critique on the right. The right will sometimes act like everything's fine. You don't need to change anything. It's all fine. And the reality is both of those world outlooks are wrong. Everything isn't fine, but it is better. And I think when the right acknowledges that the world was bad, they often don't even acknowledge it. Or that things aren't perfect yet. That makes the left angry, and they believe, see, I was right the whole time. So I think that's the issue. So it's kind of both in that one. Is it Hirunisa? Did I get it right? As someone who's 32, I agree. There's no patriarchy. Actually, I'm not struggling right now. Yes. Also, I love being a stay-at-home wife. I've been married for 10 years. Yes. Thank you for agreeing with that. If you are younger, there's no patriarchy. It's not a thing. If anything, it's a matriarchy. Women run most things at the younger age now. They're doing lots of bosses of women. I know people who work in places where like every other boss or like most of the bosses are women. It's common. So yes. Alrighty. And she goes on to say, the traditional people are not putting themselves in line. True. That was my point. Where are they? They're not online. Yes. 100%. So, alrighty. Let's see here. We keep going down some more.
It's the life they warned me about. A small, steady, faithful life that I wouldn't trade for anything. Somehow, it's the most radical choice I've ever made.
Do what you want, but don't pretend it's radical. There's this pattern in right-wing messaging where they try to describe the most traditional, historically dominant, regressive ideas as if they're counterculture.
Now, what she's saying here is she's immediately attacking the idea, right? Oh, counterculture. What? She didn't say that. But is it counterculture? Yes, you're on TikTok doing a get ready with me, being a boss babe. So yes, it is counterculture right now. It is. She's not wrong. Most regressive, insult, insult, insult. Some woman likes what she's doing. Leave her alone. She likes it. Let her do what she wants. It's fine. You go do what you want, but she can't. Because here's the issue. She says regressive, traditional. She knows what she's doing right now is not natural. Uh-oh. Larry, where'd you go? I just said it. It's not natural. It's not natural for somebody to go online, show themselves getting made up, and insult people. So how can she make that natural? The word you'll hear from progressive women all the time is, we need to normalize. What does normalize mean? It means what you're doing is not normal. How do you normalize it? When enough people say it's normal. This is 1984 shit. What does 2 + 2 equal? What the party says it equals. It's not 2. It's not 4. It's not 5. It is what the party says it equals. That's it. If the party says 2 + 2 equals chicken, then 2 + 2 equals chicken. Let's normalize me doing very selfish, self-centered stuff so I can get likes and insult people. Let's normalize that. What is normal? What the hive mind says is normal. TikTok is a hive mind. Boho, how are you, my dear? You can embrace both worlds and live in harmony. Yes. True. Make your bread, enjoy your tea, pick the flowers, but still slay a business. Of course. And for most women, this is we're talking about women here, most women will have trouble doing that at the same time as having children. Some will, some won't. Depends upon the woman and what their support structure is. Generally speaking, if you have more of a support structure, you're able to do more of these things. Less of a support structure, you have to tend to say, I'm going to do this on this part of my life, then have this. And women say it. If you see it, TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, they'll say, I'm in my so-and-so era. Recognize it's a time to go pick the flowers, to your point. It's a time to run your business. It's a time to bake your bread or have your kids. And again, if you don't have a good support structure, you might have to do one or two, right? You might have to say, look, I'm going to raise kids now. And then I'm going to do my business now. You might have to do that depending upon your support structure. So yeah, it's a good point.
As if they're boundary pushing, but you can't be both radical and traditional. And it's
You literally can when your world is progressive. She just isn't, this woman just isn't that smart. She just wants clicks.
wild to watch dominant ideologies try to rebrand.
Dominant ideologies. So trad wife in America today is a dominant ideology. Utter horseshit. Total horseshit. If it was dominant, then you wouldn't be doing your TikToking right now, would you?
Themselves as rebellious. It really is. They want to be
And she just laughs. Yeah.
oppressed so bad.
They want to be oppressed so bad. Don't you want to be oppressed so bad? This woman's under 30, obviously. And she acts like I'm being dominated and oppressed. She's not being oppressed. Right now, if you're a woman under 30, you live life on easy mode. You are the most, and this will make some of you angry, but again, women under 30, you are the most privileged, particularly if you're a white woman under 30, you are the most privileged demographic on the planet. Hands down. Not even close in today's world. Now, the worst part is that wasn't always true. Why this is so hard for us to embrace is this wasn't always the case. Women traditionally have been absolutely not privileged. I mean, close, second-class citizens, couldn't vote. All true. I'm talking about today, right now. This woman right here is the most privileged class on the planet. And she's like, and I'm being dominated. She's trying to be a victim. My dear, you are not a victim. You are not a victim. Not today. It's 1975. Yeah, you probably were. 1980. You probably were. 1970, 1955. Of course you were. 2026. And you're 28. Life on easy mode. How do I know that? You're on TikTok and you're dropping several hundred, if not $1,000 every single month on your makeup. Your nails are done, your hair is done, your makeup's done, and you can sit here and just talk about how stupid people are. That wasn't happening in 1975. That didn't happen in 1985. Most privileged on the planet trying to be a victim, acting like other people want to be victims. How many of you are committing suicide right now? The men are, left and right. Not you.
It's weird, but it's an intentional rebrand. It's a strategy to try to make these regressive politics feel fresh, appealing to younger audiences.
And okay, as she sits there, puts her makeup on, trying to look appealing to other people, you aren't doing exactly the same thing?
Say whatever talking points you want, but at least be honest about what they are. You're not forging some new radical path. You're participating in one of the most familiar, basic ideologies in America.
Say you're basic and then attack. At no point is there an argument. Rona says, my mom had to go to work in the 1970s. My parents couldn't support us with my dad working 3 part-time jobs because of the recession. Bingo. Bingo. Absolutely. Nosy says, Bronna, the reality to this day is 2 parents don't have to work. They have choices, but they choose the dollars. Well, there's the issue. Nosy, you're not wrong on that. Could someone survive on one salary? Yes, you can. But most women don't want to. I'm not mad at them for it. You should do what you feel is best for your life. It's hard for someone to do so. Can you survive in America, family of 4, 2 kids, on a man making $50,000 a year? Yes, you can survive. You're probably going to be on EBT. You're probably going to be on Medicare or Medicaid. I'm sorry, you're going to be on Medicaid. Probably going to be on Medicaid. You probably are, right? Unless you live in like the most rural of rural areas and you farm, unless you do that. But can you survive? Yes. You're not buying a new car. You're not going on vacation. And it's hard. Why is it hard? Because you're going to be looking at other people who are doing other things. And you're human. And while we may not want to keep up with the Joneses, humans want to. We want to keep up with the Joneses. So can I find happiness in 50,000? Maybe, but you have to have a certain type of man and a certain type of woman to do that. And to find that man and woman together is going to be challenging. Some people do it because you're right. It can be done. You are not incorrect. My piece, I was talking about with Kintsugi earlier. Is the man that was going to do that, was that person around you? Is that man around you, Nosy? Are you that woman? Not impossible, challenging. Kintsugi says, none of the women in my family were triad wives. I've never seen it. It seems idealistic, but when it works, it sounds like a beautiful thing. Agreed, the right people. Nosy, I'd say it. Okay, Nosy's into this one. I picked a good topic for you. Broken families seriously weaken the community. 100% true. It's all by design to benefit the establishment and elites and the rich. 100% true. Yes, yes, and yes. Yes, yes, and yes. Michael says, I just noticed the lady talking trash is like a country mouse with them overalls. Yeah, she is. She's also a hypocrite, and we'll find out in a second.
Now, I do need to clarify that this video is not an attack against stay-at-home moms.
Yes,
After all, I was one.
Thank you. Hypocrite, Michael. What, did you watch this before? Hypocrite. Stay-at-home moms, trad wives are bad. And I was one, as I let my husband pay for stuff while I did it. So I could do it, not you. I can do it because, and here's the most important piece, and you guys are getting it. I was one, but I have the right ideology, so I'm okay. See, it's okay if you think the right way. If you can diss your husband and diss men and go feminism awesome and then go make money, then you can be a trad wife. But if you, to her words, if you abandon your dreams and serve your husband, you're not good enough. See?
But it is important to say that staying home with
rules for thee and not for me.
your kids can be a beautiful thing and isn't inherently bad. Like, I myself put my ambitions on pause for 5 years during my childbearing years, and I'm incredibly grateful for that time.
So you're happy for that time where you allowed your spouse to support you. What's wrong with that? You made a deal. Your spouse said, I got you, go. What's wrong with that? Spouses do this. Sometimes when a husband loses his job, the wife's got to go to work while the husband finds work. What's wrong with that?
Also need to say that getting married young isn't necessarily bad.
Oh, because you got married young. Isn't it weird? Isn't that weird? How she's doing a whole video on how what she did was wrong and bad and brainwashed. Why? Because she has the right ideology. And that's what really matters. And there's the key. That's the whole point of this. It isn't about it. Because if you're a trad wife and you're happy, good. But you better have the damn right ideology. Nosy, I hate that you're right. Now I'm mad at you. Because now she just proved you. Damn it, now I'm mad at you, Nosy. All right. Anyway, Adirondack, there's only one life lesson to be learned on TikTok. No. That's good. Hyrunacia says, or getting to the point where my friends were there in their late 30s, when they get married and can't find anyone. This is everywhere. This is everywhere. If you want to make a killing, go into egg freezing. Jesus, you go and make a killing. So many women freezing eggs. There's video upon video upon video upon video of it. All freezing eggs. Go into that business. Invest in that. Ton of money. Yes. Women can't find men. They can't find men. And then instead of trying, my day job is I'm a consultant and a coach. That's what I do. I have also played my bit of matchmaking. I do that also sometimes. And when I talk to them about this, what I tell them is, who are you looking for? What are you trying to achieve? So they bring up. And they start going, this. No. I'm not saying give me a list of how much money he's got to make, right? Who are you looking for? What kind of person? Blah, blah, blah. Okay, great. And then they go, where can I find that person? I go, that doesn't matter. They go, what? No, it doesn't matter. Where can you find them? It's irrelevant. Now, my next question is, how are you going to be the person that person wants? They don't want to hear that shit at all. They don't want to hear it. Men or women. They don't want to hear it. So some guy, well, Larry, I can't find this kind of woman. Okay, great. All right. What kind of one you want? Okay, great. Okay. How can you be the person she wants? Well, what do you mean? How can you be the person that person would want? Doesn't matter if you want them. This isn't, I'm walking in a store and picking something. The other person is an option. They have to want you. Well, what am I going to do? It's how much money I make or whatever. Okay, great. Then that's how much money you make. Does that person get how much money you make? Well, she probably does. Well, then you better make more money, dude. What should we tell you? If that's what she wants. Well, she may not want that. What does she want? Let's talk about this. Do you have that? I don't. You better go get that then. You better become that. Women too. Women are worse than men in this one. Women think they have been told they deserve everything. Men think that too, but nowhere near as much as women do. Women think far more than men. Why does this great guy? Wonderful. What are you doing to become the guy, the woman that guy wants? What do you mean? He should love me for me. Well, he doesn't. That's why you're alone at 35. If you're looking for guy X or gal Y, you must become what guy X wants or what gal Y wants. If you don't do that, you're not going to find them. It's irrelevant. I'm sorry, it's irrelevant if you find them. They're not going to want you. You have to want them, and they have to want you. One of the biggest issues women have in their 30s is they will not accept that they have to become what the man they want wants. It's a huge issue. Men often get it, but don't do it, right? But they at least get it. They go, oh, I got to become that? I don't become that. I'm going to go in my basement and play video games. I wish I was joking. But those of you who know, there's a whole lot of men just checked out because they have to accept they have to become what the women want, and they don't want to become that. So they go, I'm going to go play video games. It's a sadly common. Yes. And the women just get mad. The men go away, the women go on TikTok. So when the men are mad, they hang out in the chat room. And when the women are mad, they go on TikTok. But yes, you have to become the person that the person you want wants? Or does it matter?
Or even having kids young, though I definitely have more reservations when we're talking about 19-year-olds here. But the problem we are addressing today lies in subscribing to the trad wife ideology and lifestyle at an age where you're—
Bingo. The ideology is what matters. She can't help but telling herself. She can't help but self-report. It is the ideology. Nosy, damn it, I'm mad you're right. All right.
locking yourself in before you've even been an adult longer than you've been pregnant.
And it says, okay, this with you. Just because a lot of people can be moms, means it's not hard. It's hard on your body mentally. You don't get a break from cycling. Put you up for 2 years. It's not harder than someone getting their arms blown off, their legs blown off by a drone in Ukraine. It just isn't. Sorry, you are never going to get me to believe that being a mom is harder than being a soldier, than being a frontline trench fighter. Never going to get me to believe that. It's not true. It's just not true. It's not harder than being a rigger where the death rate, the highest death rates are like loggers who get their arms get crushed by trees, get their arms destroyed by falling timber. It's not that. It's not. And the fact that people can be a mom does make it that, because a lot of people can't be soldiers. A lot of people can't handle it. They just die. A lot of people can't be loggers. A lot of people can't be riggers, right? Or you're out in the ocean, when them damn, in going through the Strait of Hormuz now, getting bombed by Iranians. No, my dear. You are right in many things. This one you are wrong. Crying poopy babies for years, so what? So what? And what if you have a support structure? Now, if you don't, it's harder. But what if you got grandma or you got someone else, whatever, if you in your world, if you have someone else in your world? I hope you do. Don't know if you do. But if you do, even easier. If you have that. That's why I always say the best way to raise children is not the traditional family. It's traditional extended family is the best way. All depends on that. So yes. Yeah. A man's work is sunless and a woman's work is never done. Often true, but you're not going to get blown up by a drone. I'm not saying it isn't hard. I never said that. What I said is the hardest job in the world. Stop it. It's not. You're not getting blown up by a missile. You're just not. It's not a thing. You're not going to be on the ocean and get trashed over and all of a sudden the wave kills you all and you all drown to death. That's not a thing. It's not happening. It's not happening. You may be working a lot, okay, but not the hardest. It just isn't. Adirondack says Bill Burr's bit on the hardest job in the world. Okay, I'll check it out too. Okay, I'll check it out. Yes. All righty. Super says men want your money now. They want boss babes. They are lazy. You do find some men who are that way. I think that part's true. But I think those men are men that most women don't want. But you're not wrong. Most of those men, women will, if they're hot enough, women might sleep with them because they're hot. It's possible. It depends on who you are and your life. Some women don't want hookups at all. Hookup culture exists because both sides agree. So there are some women who just want a hot guy. And if they want the money, they don't care. They'll hook up with a hot guy and they'll go on their way. Some women will do that. But women who want a relationship, right? And not all women do, obviously, but women who do, yeah, they'll do that. Yeah. So I guess it depends on a woman. So, but you're not wrong. That's very true. There are a lot of men now who are like, you want me a boss babe? Pay for me. It's true. There was a whole thing years ago in men being in their soft era or whatever. That was a thing on like TikTok or something. I don't know if it's still around, but it was. Your point's valid. It's absolutely true. Thank you, Andrew, for the gift of membership. Thank you. I appreciate that. So, all right. You don't get sleep free. I know. I had two kids. And I took my kids and I sang them to sleep because my voice is so amazing. True. So yes, I sing my daughters to sleep. Yes, I know it's hard. I'll say it again. You're not getting blown up by a drone. You don't sleep. Do you think you sleep if you're in a trench right now in some parts of Ukraine? Do you think you sleep where at any moment a missile or drone comes down and blow your legs off? Oh, you think you're sleeping well? That war's been going on for 4 years now. 4 years. Mom's harder than that? Stop. If they're even alive. If they have both their legs anymore. And now you got to live the rest of your life with no legs. Or with fake legs. Or fake arms. As tough as being a mom, you usually keep your legs. Sometimes you don't. You might get some disease, but usually keep your legs. Usually keep your arms too. And usually once the kids are done, you get to have your life back. Usually. Some exceptions. Whole lot different when it comes to war. So, yeah. All right, let me grab here. All right, I grabbed that piece already. Rona says she's so condescending. I tell you all the time, the right distracts, the left dismisses. She's on the left. She'll dismiss again and again and again. Phil says, to you, a majority of workplace injuries and deaths happen to men. 100% true. It's not even close. And it's not even close. And it's not even close. Yes. All right, I think we went down that road.
And we're talking 18, 19, and 20-year-olds buying into one life path that has no return to sender option. Because when you go #trad life with no previous job experience, education, if that's something you're interested in, or just hard or soft skills besides kneading sourdough, then if anything were to go wrong.
Look how she just insults the idea of taking care of households. She insults it. All you can do is knead sourdough. If something goes wrong, what happens if you don't get married and you got to freeze your eggs? This is the part she doesn't bring up, the part that either one can be tough. Either one can be hard. Do the one that you want. You gamble either way. If you think being a traditional wife is not for you, please don't do it. Of course not. But don't think that's a better way. It's not a better way. It's only a better way if you want to do it. That's what it is.
You have no backup plan and no way out.
So y'all want to know the scariest thing, and it's happening to me now, is being a female, married. I'm 37. I have 2 kids. They're 5 and.
Okay, she's married 10 years, right? So she was 27 when she got married. Number one, she now has 2 kids who are 5 and 7.
And I've been a stay-at-home mom for the past 10 plus years.
How can you be a stay-at-home mom for the past 10 plus years when your kids are only 7? This is already bullshit. Off the bat, bullshit.
I have no income. I have no money. I use my husband's credit card and.
Now, I have no income. I have no money. I use my husband's credit cards. Why don't you have your own credit cards? You were 27 when you got married. Her words. Her words. You were 27. At 27, you didn't have any credit cards? Maybe you didn't. I'm not saying she didn't, but that's because if that's true, something wrong with you.
And I used my husband's money. And 2 weeks ago, he told me that he wants to move forward with divorce.
Right. So to be forward, she wants us to believe that she was 27 when she got married, stayed home for 10 years, and her kids are 5 and 7. And her husband just randomly said 2 weeks ago, one divorce. That, by the way, almost never happens. I'm not trying to be cruel. That almost never happens. Ask divorce attorneys. I've spoken to them. I've seen them. I've done work in the family court. Almost never happens. By the time a man says, I want a divorce, a lot has happened. Men don't it's not a thing men do, generally speaking. There's some exceptions, obvious, but they don't do that. Men don't want to. You know what? He knows he's going to lose his kids. He knows she's going to take half his shit. He knows this. She's going to take half his stuff and her kids. She knows this. He knows this. Why would he just run around and have a divorce? Not a thing. Not a thing.
And today, I use.
Okay, your nails are did, and you're in an SUV. Please stop acting like your world's ending.
An American Express credit card for everything. It's got my name on it, but obviously he pays the bill.
So wait a minute, it's got your name on it. So that means you have a credit card, but he pays because he works.
He told me he's gonna cut it off. And I gotta move all the automatic payments and stop using it. And he said,
because it's probably his business card.
You need to start using your own card now.
So she has her own card.
What card? I don't have a card. That is my card.
So she has the American Express card.
I mean, I feel like a little girl who needs their mommy because I don't know how to take care of myself.
Okay, I'm being very forward here. I think this is all bullshit. Why? You got married at 27. You didn't know how to take care of yourself 10 years ago. So in 2016, when you were 27, you didn't know how to take care of yourself. You didn't know. You had no idea. Oh, nothing. That's what happened. Now, maybe she's Amish. Maybe. But if you're Amish, go back to your Amish family, you'll be fine. But unless you're Amish, how can you not know? What, were you raised in a cult? I mean, maybe, but then go back to the cult. How can you not know? Not just that. It's America. You don't have a job. You have 2 kids. Your husband's rich. Clearly, because you put you in an SUV, gives you a card, says just go spend it, pays the bill. So clearly her man is wealthy, right? She's all done up. She's fine. So obviously her man's got cash. And the family court system is going to be like, you're starving to death. Stop it. She's going to get thousands upon thousands of dollars in child support. Probably going to get alimony because she doesn't have any money in her job. She's getting alimony. So he's writing checks for her for the next 20 years. Her kids are 5 and 7. At least 17 years of money she's getting for the kids. At least. Through college, 22, the youngest, right? She's getting 17 years of checks from this guy. Guaranteed. And probably alimony and child support. And you're 37. You remember when you're 27. You remember when you were 17? This is all garbage.
And so in the name of feminism, I can't just idly sit back and watch these.
Thank you. In the name of feminism, she cannot unself-report.
Girls hand over their autonomy and their future to a man. Not because they shouldn't have the choice.
Hand over your autonomy and future man. Okay, that's a question. You're a trad wife. 10 years. What she said, it's bullshit, but what she said, 10 years. 37. You were 27 when you got married. You didn't get a college degree? You didn't have a work experience? You could have been working for 10 years. You have no work experience? She uses this woman as an example. See how it's destroying you, giving up to men? If she did nothing, she's just stupid. I don't mean to be mad. She's been dumb. She's just, if that's true, I don't think it's true. But if it's true, she's just dumb. You were 27. You never had a job. No work history. No credit cards. No credit history. No college degree. Okay, you were a trad wife for 10 years. You didn't go to college while you were there? Your man's got money. He didn't you couldn't take any classes. You couldn't part-time work. You couldn't work for him. You couldn't start a side business like so many traditional wives do. A small business selling X, selling Y. So according to her, you just sat on your ass for 37 years, did nothing, and now you're screwed. Utter lie. And you use that one as your example. Stop it. I'm not buying that shit. This is propaganda.
To do what they want, if that truly is what they want, but because they've been brainwashed by tradwife influencers who are
They've been brainwashed.
Selling them a fairy tale fallacy. And while we all think my man would never betray me, the reality is that this
is more propaganda. 2023, over 1.8 million Americans divorced. Additionally, a third of Americans have ever been married, also has been divorced. See, my man won't betray me. Her assumption is the men are betraying. Look at the data. It's women cheating and women initiating divorce. 80%. And most of these are no-fault divorce. I mean, the man isn't cheating. If the man's cheating, she says he's cheating, infidelity. That's how it works. That's what happens because she gets more. That's how it works. This is propaganda. They all get divorced. Women are doing it. It's not men. That's not how it works now. The days change.
Has happened to a lot of women. So as an act of sisterhood, we should all be
Sisterhood. We have to protecting
ourselves, knowing that some of us will be the unlucky ones, unfortunately. That doesn't mean don't marry the man and don't have the kids, but have a monetizable skill set to have a bank account in your name, build your own credit.
Who stops you? Who stops you? Did her man stop her? Did she say that? Her man said, you can't do it. You were 27 when you got married. You probably had a bank account, right? Maybe a credit card, something. Did you get rid of it? Just keep it. Put money in it. Again, your man was wealthy. Take his money, put some in a bank account. What's stopping you? Nothing. This is, I'm a victim, I'm a victim, I'm a victim.
Score, have your own retirement account, and have a support system outside of your marriage.
Who says you can't do any of this? Notice it says women need to consider lots of things in deciding what she chooses. True. I don't care what she chooses alone. She's not creating victims in her choices. True. You're not wrong. You are not wrong. I agree. 100%. Yes. Doc says the tide has been swinging back and forth for a while. No. It's been going one direction for a long time. One direction for a long time. D says, why would most men want a trad wife when the possibility of her divorcing him and taking half his stuff? There's an issue too, right? And if you talk to divorce lawyers, the women who get the most are always traditional wives. It's true. And I understand why. It actually makes sense, right? If you're a boss babe making tons of money, you will still get the kids usually, but the dollars will be different, right? When it comes to a trad wife, you're getting a lot. And I understand why. It makes total sense. Yes. Marissa says, most successful marriages do not start with the guy making a bunch of money. My husband started out as each. I think you mean not that much. Now he's the principal. We grew together. I love that. I think you're right. I love that. Yes. Nosy says, if she's not a wealthy woman, she's to accept her finances, live within her means. You're not wrong. Nosy, I'm not saying you're wrong here. I'm saying a lot of women don't want to do that. You're not wrong. Nosy says, Melania no lives with Donald. It's true, but she did what she had to do, and she was okay with it. Yes. 100%. So.
All things that are simple enough, but actually counter the trad wife movement, believe it or not. Because even if you never end up needing it, if we all get on board with this, then nobody gets.
If we all get on board with this, the hive mind. Robin says, I know one thing for sure, being a boss babe was way harder on my life and my soul than being a trad wife could ever have been. Still bitter with Gloria Steinem telling me differently. That's funny. Yes. Robin says, can Sugi agree? I've been single for 20 years, but would love to have some good old boy to love me. Yeah, I think most women would like to have a relationship. I think it's true. But again, is the right person there for you, Robin? Right? There's the issue. As I said to Kintsugi, is the right person there? Right? And if not, how do two things? How do you find the right person? How do you even know who you want? Also challenging. How do you know who you want? So you find the right person you want, and then how do you become the person that they want? This is not an easy task, which is why we struggle so much. Which is why we're not pair bonding. It's challenging. Yes. Haruna says, what data are you talking about? I need proof. A lot of what he's saying sounds like red pill talking points. Some of it is. You're not wrong. Some of it is. Sometimes to counter feminism, you have to use red pill talking points. And when people give me red pill stuff, I use feminine talking points. So you're not wrong. I will often use the opposite side talking points to counter the argument. When I'm fighting the left, I use right talking points. When I'm countering the left, I use right talking points. Yes, you're not wrong. A lot of it is. But again, some of the data is in. If you just do it yourself, if you want me to do it, I can show results. I can show some receipts if you want me to. The reality of it is obvious. A simple Google search will show you that women are absolutely cheating more. Younger women, I keep saying that, younger women are cheating more, and younger women are initiating divorce. And this thing called gray divorce. Gray divorce is huge. It's almost only women doing it. Gray divorce is a big deal. It's a whole thing. You could just Google gray divorce. It'll pop right up. Or ChatGPT or Gemini or whatever is the tool you use. It's everywhere. Kim Zuka says, your girls are more conservative than you all are. It's true. They are. Yes. So, all righty.
Screwed over.
A lot of these trad wives are in my comments talking about, my man loves me. He would never do that to me. Lucifer loved God. He still betrayed him. That's the thing. You can't be like, my man would never, my man would never, my man would never. Check the comments. These men be nevering like a motherfucker. I mean, honestly. And the institution of marriage, I am married. I've been married for 7 years to a wonderful, equal partner who is an amazing guy, an amazing dad. But I'm not stupid enough to not have a job. Because if he left me tomorrow,
This woman's not wrong. She's not wrong. You can be a trad wife and still set yourself up to be set, whether that's through getting a trust, whether that's through putting money in your mom's name or whatever. There's many ways you can set yourself up. Many ways. Having your own credit card, your own bank account. So many ways you can do it. So 100%, she's not wrong on this. But don't take a dump on trad wives. If you want to be a trad wife, that's totally fine. No worries.
I don't want to have to rebuild my life. Just saying. I don't want to have to rebuild my life. It's one thing to have confidence in your partner, and I do have a high degree in confidence with my partner and of my partner, but I'm not delusional. And I'm not stupid. Okay, I'm not a fool.
This woman is correct. Kate John says, Liz, I so admired Gloria's time in the 1670s. She was leading the way. Now in this day of the Fabu interwebs, I've seen people saying she was CIA. Aw, I hope that's not true. I hope that's not true.
I understand that things happen. People change. Life is a constant motion of evolving. People are always evolving.
This woman is correct.
Why would I put my trust in a man?
Well, that's wrong. You should put your trust in people. You should put your trust in people. Now, do you want to put 100%? But you should do it. Yes. Because like it says, I do have concern about age gaps. 10 years isn't too bad, though. I think the 10-year piece, it depends on how old they are, right? I think that's the difference too, right? I think they're like, if you're like 18 and he's like 35, that seems kind of weird. But like you're 30 and he's 45, I think the age also matters, you know? Andrew says, no, that's not true. My husband was not making a lot. You just need to live within your means to be frugal. You can marry. So I think you're right. Again, guys, I'm not saying that it can't be done. I'm saying look at most people, not just women. Look at most people. People want to keep up with the Joneses. It's a common thing that humans want. You have to find the right person. I'm glad you found the right man. That's amazing. A lot of men aren't going to feel good about themselves if you're doing traditional wife, right? They're not going to feel good about themselves if they can't provide a lot of cool things for their family. They're going to feel bad. They're going to feel weak. Their ego is going to be hurt. And that's going to come out somehow, probably in a relationship, probably in a marriage, probably in their job, whatever. And what if the woman wants more? She's going to feel bad. She's going to want more for her kids or for her family. That may come out. He may attack the man. And that's common. Again, I want to make sure that I'm being clear on this. There are always exceptions, and I'm glad you found one. I'm saying what's happening in America today. You can see it everywhere. People are not happy. Men are not happy. Women aren't happy. Can you do it? Yes. But now you have to find a man who's going to be okay making 50 grand a year, whatever the amount is today. I don't know what it was when you got married, but whatever the equivalent amount is today, say 50 grand for sake of argument, and having a family in that way, and a woman who will also accept that. Can it happen? Yes. Hard to find, particularly in cities. In rural areas, better chances, but hard there too. Very hard in cities. Continues that Andrew Tate's horrible. Yes, and here's what I'll bring about Andrew Tate. He is horrible. No argument. There shouldn't be a place for him in American society or culture, but there is. Why? Because we have destroyed traditional families and the fathers aren't in the households anymore. So young men are desperately looking for father figures. Boop, here comes Andrew Tate. Andrew Tate, as bad as he is, and I'm not arguing with you at all, he is a symptom. He should be, in a perfect world, some guy who did horrible stuff who goes to jail and no one ever heard of him. He's just some dude who did bad stuff and he goes to jail. Whatever, like his family knows him. No one else even knows his name. That's what should be true, but it isn't. He's a phenomenon. Why? Because we have decided that we don't want to have good father figures in our lives. What winds up happening? Done. Robin says, this former boss babe froze no eggs. I feel sad for women now. This culture has limited their choices so drastically. True. Yes. Absolutely. Andrea, what if it's your dream to be a child wife? Correct. Kintsugi, what's wrong with serving your spouse as long as it's mutual? I say to my daughters all the time, you should eagerly want to serve people who you love. You should want to. Whether they're your spouse, your kid, your mom, your cousin, if you love them, you should happily serve them. I serve my daughters. I literally cook them food and put it in front of them. I literally serve my daughters all the time. And I don't mind at all. I love them. You should happily service people you love. I agree completely. If you love your husband, you should service him. If he loves you, he should service you. 100% true. Yes, yes, and yes. Servicing shouldn't be seen, but was weak. But here's the worst part. We'll service in our job all day long, but not in our family. Why? Because this is my earlier point. We've made the labor in the job more valuable than the labor at home. Not the same. Thank you for the gifted. Johnson, thank you for the gifted membership. Thank you, guys. It's not true. All labor is important. Yes. So, all righty. I can grab some of these here. You guys are going all over the place. You're back and forth. I love the back and forth. It's amazing. I do appreciate it. So, all righty. Let me finish with her a little bit.
And what these young trad wives don't understand is that you are a choice to that man. And he can make a choice to keep you or he can make a choice to leave you. And
Women too, though. Don't act like it's just men.
The fact
Women
that
too.
you are willing to gamble your life and your 40s and your 50s and your 60s on being a choice for a man, girl.
Yep. I hear so much nowadays, and in this show, what's in it for me? Yeah. Yes. Yep. Very true.
In the words of this ex-trad wife, Olivia, she says, I caution women who are trad wives because their whole lives depend on a man's love.
That's not true. Not true. They're making this up. If you're a traditional wife, it doesn't mean that you have to just depend on your husband. Your husband may have family. You have family. You can try. And once you have babies, come on, grandparents, stop.
It's all sunshine and daisies in the beginning, but they could end up like me. I wish I had gone to college and made a plan to be independent. When I got divorced, I had nothing. No career, no life skills, and no credit.
Why would you do that?
Y'all know there are no old trad wives, right? I really appreciate this week, Jessica.
Okay, there are no old trad wives. Utter lie. Utter lie. Literally a lie. Not true at all. They're not on TikTok. You might go, you'll know there are no old wives on TikTok. That will be accurate. Thank you. Yes.
Valente and a bunch of other creators asking the question, where are all the old trad wives? Because they really don't exist.
On TikTok.
Trad wives age out, usually in their mid to late 30s. They get swapped out with younger models. They get left.
She just made that up. None of that's true. Do people get divorced? Yes. Non-trad wives too. Lots of people get divorced. In fact, now most people get divorced now. So it's not like it's trad wives. Okay, where are all the women where are all the happily married women on TikTok who are older? Most women on TikTok who are older are divorced and angry. Most of them are.
They decide to leave. They deconstruct. This is interesting timing because Hannah Nealman just gave an interview in which she wore jeans.
Notice says there's no magic age that makes you smarter or experienced. True. Absolutely true. Absolutely true.
Talked about how she doesn't consider herself a trad wife influencer. She uses a staff and she's actually a CEO. This is an important.
Now, that's key. She's right on this. I'll be very, here she's right. A lot of this is just rage bait and cosplay.
Career shift for her. It's very savvy and someone who needs to keep evolving and understanding that her relevance is going to change because she's at that critical age.
Yep. John says, it seems like love has become a foreign concept and has become a corporate contract instead. That's because of the terribleness that we've done in family court. You're right. Yes. No, he says, what I'm hearing is a watered down version of trad wife. Trad wife for 5 years is not trad. She put her children in environments that will finish raising them. Install social values is not trad. Oh, okay. I can see that. Okay. I see where you're going with that. I do. Yes. That's good. Yeah. Kendrick says, that's a very great question, Larry. How are you preparing to be that person? Yes. And that's the point. If we think that, and this is what many people think, and social media is the worst because there's so many people here, we think, well, there's always somebody else. Yes, there's always someone else, but if you're not the person that person wants, it doesn't matter. You might meet the perfect guy tomorrow, or the perfect gal, whatever you're looking for, right? Tomorrow. If you're not the person that they want, it is irrelevant because they don't want you. You have to become the person, prepared to be the person that person is going to want. Whatever that is. You may not like it. But there are women and men who target certain types of people and they get those people. They do. They say, I want this kind of man. I want this kind of woman. And I'm going to do what it takes to get that kind of man and that kind of woman. And they do it. because they become the person that kind of person wants. Now, some of them are, to the earlier point with John, more contractual. Not all of them are for love, but the process works either way, whether you're doing it for love or doing it for resources. Or some people do it because they want an accessory. I know it sounds horrible, but it's true. In today's world, a lot of people want the right person on their arm. So it's an accessory. And that's men and women. It used to only be men back in the day. Men wanted their trophy wife. That. Nowadays, both do it. Women and men do it. Oh, no, I have to have the right person on my, because they're the power couple or the hot guy or the hot gal. A lot of people do that. Now, I hope it's for love. Well, it may not be. Just being forward, right? John says, why does it have to be a woman staying home? My nephew stayed home, did give music lesson on the side while I was having to work full time. I'm with you. I don't think it has to be either. But this is about trad wife. But you're right. As long as people are happy, I don't care. I'm with you. I think it happens usually in our traditional world. The woman would have to go work only when the man would lose his job or get sick or get ill. That's how it was in the past. Now it's whatever. Yeah. Yep. Bronna says, when did raising your children and keeping a clean, safe home for your family become an ideology? The 1960s would be when. Yes. Nosy says, logging is the most dangerous job on the planet. Bingo. Yep. Adirondack says, I was an actual logger in my young years. Tough job. Yep. Absolutely. 100%. I hear commercial fishing. Yes. Sugar mamas are a thing. Oh, sugar mamas are a thing. 100%. And I'm not mad at it. Yes. All right. Adirondack says, I never got hurt, but I did see several injuries. Yes. Larry never said being a mom is hard. It is hard. It's not the hardest out there. Yes. They say that to virtue signal to make women feel good. So yes. Phil says 96% of workplace deaths are men. Good. I'm not mad at that either. Yes. Absolutely. I'm not mad. So, all right, we grabbed that one already. Okay, got that one already. He's back in. Okay. Did we cover that one already? Okay, we're all good. I'm catching up here. I'm slowly catching up. I'm still behind. Andrew says, life is hard no matter what path you take. Yes. Difference is that one path may bring you more happiness and fulfillment than the other. True. That is the answer. Yes. You are exactly right. Yes. I think I'll wrap her up. Maybe it's about all.
And you can see the wear and tear if you're looking at trad wife influencers. Someone who is the mother of 9 is not as fresh-faced and young and vital as what they really want to recruit, the 20-year-olds.
See, recruit. The men are evil. They want to recruit. I personally know, and I'm sure everyone watching knows, of a family that has multiple children, 6, 7, 8 children. And the man didn't leave her because she wasn't hot anymore. He loved his family. He loved his wife, and he stayed with her. Hopefully she loved him too, and she stayed with him. Happened all the time. Lots of times happens. She's pissed off, so she's acting like everyone does it. No, maybe her man did it to her. Maybe he did. I don't know her situation. But now everyone has to, because again, I have to normalize. Whatever happens, I have to normalize. Gordon says, I mentioned to Liz earlier, I remember my mom couldn't get a credit card unless my dad co-signed. I know this was a real struggle. I want to be very clear. I am speaking of a specific group of women under 35. Older women in today's society went through it. They were absolutely victims. They were absolutely second-class citizens, 100%. They were not privileged. I'm saying today, Nosy, cheaper to keep her. Often true. Yes. Nuna says, Larry, isn't the trad wife phenomenon fad compromised of LARPing, grift clout chasing, clickbait, attention seekers like the Lawrence Otherword? Yes, that's what my earlier point. I don't know if you were watching earlier. I mentioned that. A lot of it's clickbait. A lot of this is clickbait. So, but the problem is, even though it's clickbait, so was the other one where, oh, women got to be boss babes and know your worth and don't be with a man who does bare minimum. All that stuff was the same. They both were doing the same stuff, clickbaity stuff. And neither one guarantees happiness. People should go with what they want, not what
who are
the boss
fertile and
babe
who can
tells them.
breed for the movement.
But it is understandable why these teenagers would pursue the trad wife dream, because it looks just so picture perfect, doesn't it? For teenage girls, trad life videos can feel calm, beautiful, and safe. These videos lap into a universal longing for belonging, simplicity, and connection. Feelings that—
You mean like she said the ideology of feminism? Like the same thing? Yes, absolutely. Plain Nut says, don't be silly, Larry. She's wearing color. She's not Amish. She's a Mennonite. Get it right. You're right. She might be Mennonite. Maybe she's Mennonite. All right. You're right. Maybe Mennonite.
that most of us crave. Some creators even frame feminine submission as empowering, suggesting that choosing to stay home, depend on a husband, or reject careers is an act of liberation.
You don't have to reject, right? If assuming the people aren't LARPing, they're not saying, she stopped me, I had to reject. They're like, I don't want to work, I'm happy. And if you look at a huge swath of millennial women now, the amount of complaining about women who no longer want to work, who no longer want to be a boss babe. You saw people in the chat saying, I know a lot of people who are in their 30s who now want to find a man. They don't want to be boss babe anymore. What about them? Is that any more or less valid? I'm asking for us to be happy, which means for most people, that's pair bonding in some way, whether that's pair bonding for marriage or for children or both or neither, whatever. You're pair bonding. Humans like to pair bond. It is what makes most of us happy. Again, there's an exception. There are some women, some men who do not want to pair bond. That's fine. But again, the majority of women and men, regardless of your sexual orientation, gay or straight, doesn't matter. We want to pair bond. It's what we want. We have to make this happen. So yes.
The message can sound freeing, but it blurs the line between choice and pressure. And because TikTok's algorithm—
So there was no pressure, as you just said, to normalize, to be a boss babe, to not do this? Why is one okay and the other isn't?
feeds users more of what they already watch, just a few curious views can quickly fill a teen's feed with similar content.
Robin says, no, Larry, I'm too mouthy and independent for a good old boy to be able to tolerate me. I blame my boss babe era for that. This is an important piece, right? Women have to think, and men also, to be forward, this is both, but in your case, woman, right? You've got to think, who am I, right? Who would want me? How can I find a man that I want who wants me? And that can be challenging, right? Now, is there men out there for you? There might be. I don't know where you live. I don't know your area, right? Area matters too. There's only X amount of men in the area. You may have to hunt someplace else if you're still hunting. If you are hunting, right? You may have to. So there's an issue, right? What are you doing if you still want a man? And then can you find a man that you would want, that would want you? And does that mean you have to change who you want, which is difficult, or change yourself, which can be more difficult? Both of those things are challenging. Again, and most of us aren't thinking that way. We just go, I just hope I find somebody. We should be thinking, do I need to change who I want, and or do I need to change who I am to get who I want? Are either of those things required? And most people get angry at even the thought process of that. I don't want to lower my standards. Okay. I don't want to change. Okay. Then you're going to decrease the odds of you pair bonding. You might still, people get lucky, but you're going to decrease the odds if you don't go, who do I want and should I change? One of the biggest problems we have right now in America is women, I'm going to the younger area also. Younger women are doing so much better than younger men. Well, younger women tend to want men who have more resources than them. That's a tendency. Well, they have a couple options. One, date older, which they're doing, or don't want a man who wants more resources than you, and do what one of the people here said was just find a man who has maybe doesn't have a lot of resources, but you can grow together because he has ambition, right? He has a future. Find that. And some women do that. And I would argue that the women who do decide that tend to do better. Now, that guy might be a knucklehead and may screw up, might get unlucky. Who knows what happens, right? But I think it's a better option. That's my personal opinion, but I can't you got to do what's good for you. I think she is correct in saying you should say, you know what? Maybe I don't need a guy who's got all the resources. Maybe I need a guy who I know will get them. and I stand behind him. But a lot of women don't want that. A lot of women are saying, no, I can just date older. And the guy's already got it. So why would I do it? I think that's happening often. But yeah. Phil, thank you for $2. Isn't trad-wifery a rejection of capitalism? Bingo. Which is why the socialists hate it. It is. It is. I'm sorry, no, it's not rejection of capitalism. It's a rejection of socialism. Phil says, or perhaps a rejection of consumerism. No, it's a rejection of socialism. Yes. So, all righty. Let's see here. Keep wrapping this up.
Making it seem as if everyone is living that way or wants to.
Job. I don't want to be a corporate girly. I don't want to climb the ladder. I don't want to be a boss babe.
Yes, if you don't want to be those things, why are you mad? Kinzu says, I'm tired of 20-year-olds. That's good. I like that. I love that. Yes. Adirondack says 12 to 22 is whatever than 35 to 25. Yes. You're not wrong. Yes. 40 and 50 isn't bad, but 18 and 28 is weird. Yes, agreed. I think the time does matter. Mike says, it's not her trust in man, it's trust in the man she married. Sounds like the black woman is prepping to be divorced. It doesn't sound good. I agree. It doesn't sound good. Yes. Notice says we are spoiled. Also true. Yes. John says things do change. When it became standard for two people to work outside the home, the economy adjusted, especially for the housing market. It did. Yes. Phil says, all I promise is to give food, clothing, shelter, love, and Jesus. Nice. Notice says, I have to ask if any of these divorcees understood the vows they promised at the altar. No, they don't. No, they don't. They don't. It doesn't mean anything. It's whenever she feels. Whenever she feels. How do I know that? In Kentucky, they changed the divorce laws. And once these divorce laws, divorce went down 20%. Yep. Robbins, I'm so glad you brought this to the attention of the Sharpies. It's been a topic I've raged about for decades. We never found anyone who would discuss it with more than emotion. Yes. This is what I try to do. Yes. Phil says, it's so true. The lack of fathers is a big problem. So happy that I had a good dad. Yes. That's the reason. There should be no space here for a guy like Tate. But there is. He is a symptom. He is a symptom. Yes. Barnes says, again, forcing women to the workforce created a new tax demographic. And at the same time, government gave incentives to single moms who couldn't work. Yes. And you find people saying things like, well, I can just go on a dole. Don't worry about it. I can go on a dole. And depending upon your classes, you'll be in a class all the time. A lot of people, that's normal. That's normal. Yes. All right, keep going down.
I don't want to do any of that. I don't want to be the breadwinner. I do not want to do that.
And that's the problem here, is that the lifestyle they're selling is fake. Or
see, that's the problem here. She's saying it's what I want. The lifestyle's fake. How do you know the lifestyle's fake?
Or at least not the whole story. All the slow mornings, sipping coffee, baking bread with a baby on your hip, hanging 100% cotton laundry on the clothesline in your backyard, and cheersing drinks with your toddler at your weekly coffee shop dates is the epitome of the motherhood highlight reel. Because while all those moments in isolation are beautiful, the bigger picture is what always gets left out. The truth is that to take on this role, for the most part, means giving up your autonomy.
Why? Why? That's the story you make up. You don't have to. You can. And look, and if you want to, if you are a woman and go, you know what? I don't want to think for myself. How are you going to be a boss babe anyway? I mean, just imagine if you are a woman, well, anyone, but in this case, woman, anyone who goes, you know what? I'd like to give up all my autonomy. I don't want to know nothing. How are you going to be a boss babe? If that's your personality, like, you know what? I don't want to think at all. Okay, I'm not mad at you. Enjoy. But then you weren't going to be a boss babe anyway. So I don't understand that. Yes. Han says, wait, no trad wives and own. They are. John says, maybe a little bias. But when a man has these qualities, job, kindness, no bad addictions, ask someone out, they're shot down because they're not the type or they're too short. You're not wrong. It does happen. And again, I blame social media for this. This is true. Women are on there going, well, I want this, I want that. I can just keep swiping. It's true. You're not wrong. So why would I take some guy who's, whatever, 5'9"? I don't want a guy who's 5'9". I want a guy who's 6'3". Why? Because I saw it on TikTok or I saw it on whatever, or someone told me that don't lower my standards or whatever is the thing. You see all the time. I think it's true. And the data shows it too. Right now we have tons of data from all of the dating sites, and we can watch it. And there's actually, it's a true story. They've done a couple studies on this one where they actually they put a fake profile up of a very hot, sexy man. And they figured out what was traditionally hot and sexy, put the pictures of him like doing things like, whatever, running a business or whatever was the trendy thing of the day. They literally found the trends that this is what's trendy. We're putting this guy up. He's the trend of what the women like now. There's the guy. And they literally put convicted of SA, convicted of DV, domestic, like convicted, put it. Women still all in his DMs. Why? What happened? What? Still. Yes. I'm not, again, anything I'm making up, you can just do a Google search on it. It's everywhere. You can see it everywhere. Actually happened. Guy literally, it was a fake profile. They put it, some school or something, I forgot what, put it up as a test. And boy, did women fail that test. They failed that test badly. So yeah, it often happens that way. I see it all the time. Some women, the problem is both sides are suffering because there are so few women that will go after certain amounts of men and so few men that women actually want to go after. So now what winds up happening? We can't get together. And we're not pair bonding. And the men give up and go play video games. And the women go on TikTok and complain. And no one's happy. This isn't working. I bring this up because it's not working. Yes. Andrea says, I know plenty of older women who stayed at home and now they live with their retired husbands. Yes. All the time. Yes. This is a story they make up. You can be happy. It can work.
At least while your kids are young.
So today I thought I would share with you my top 3 phrases that help to get me through those hard days. And remember, you've got this, mama. Phrase number 1, fuck my life. One is more under the breath. Phrase number 2, I can't do this. You haven't had your needs met and over, I can't even tell you. It's an excellent time to say, I can't do this. Phrase number 3, and my personal favorite, is a man could never. Be clear. Most men can, but there's a certain level of brokenness that
just insult. And when so many men see this, what do they think? When so many women see this, what do they think? Insult.
only a woman can understand, and it's because of everything we're carrying. When everything is going on all at once, swirling like a cyclone, a man could never.
Like, there's a reason the catchphrase for motherhood is the days are long, but the years are short, because there's nothing more character building than becoming a mother. Every day is a long list of the same tasks on repeat with nothing to really show for it at the end of the day. Same loads of laundry are folded, dirtied, and folded again. The same meals are cooked and cleaned a minimum of 3 times a day. The same toys picked up on the same
people will tell you, well, you know, if you hired people to do it, you pay so much money.
Floor 10 times a day just to be dumped out again when you turn your back. I like to say it's as if you're in fight or flight all day long, just trying to keep the children alive and going from one chaotic moment to the next. And then
Robin says, I've lived the dream life, I guess. I've always done what I felt was right and consistent with my personal values. I don't need approval to be who I am. Love that. Bronna says, this has been a great show. Such a good topic. A lot of back and forth. I knew it would be. I knew it would be. Han says, careers is an act of liberation. Oh no, fake communism using a hierarchical career as an act of liberation against the system. True. That is, yes. Careers should not be an act of liberation. Careers should be an act of desire. Desire. Do you want to do that? Then go do it. But don't do it because a man. That's the wrong reason to do it. Don't do it because I'm a feminist. That's the wrong reason. Do it because you want to do it. Stay at home because you want to do it. That's the issue.
All of a sudden, it's 5 p.m. and the house looks like you haven't put an ounce of effort into keeping it tidy. All the while, there's no promotions, no performance reviews, unless you count children screaming at you for opening their yogurt for them because they wanted to open it. There's no paycheck and there's no clocking out. It's just an endless loop of invisible, thankless labor that resets it.
So let me ask you a question. Most men that you know, if they work, when they come home, if they have a family, children, wife, do they just come home, put their feet up, and crack a beer and watch TV? Do you know, any of you, know of a man who, when he comes home from work, if he has a family, assuming he has a family, this is the assumption, he has kids and a wife, he just come home and says, and the woman gives him a beer and he watches TV or plays video games and the kids don't jump on him, he has no other responsibilities. What year is this? 2026? What man does that? I want that life. I hope I work 9 to 5. I come home at 5:15 or 5:30. I drive in and my food is ready for me and the kids are all done up and my wife got pearls on and she just gives me food. I eat it. I put my feet up. They give me my slippers and my paper and I guess my iPad, I guess, or whatever you give right now. And I just start watching the I don't know, my video game. That's what happens. If you live that way, if you do, and I'm sure some men do, you have enough wealth and money to where your wife isn't doing all the hard work because she has servants. If you live that way, if you're the guy who can just make so much money, you can just come home and your wife got pearls on and the food's there for you and you just play video games all day if you want to. If you're that guy, you have enough money to where your wife ain't working because she got servants. I'm not making that up. She's got a housekeeper and probably a personal chef. She got all the goodies. So her life ain't hard if that's your life. If your life's that easy, hers is too. She got a nanny. She got a nanny, a housekeeper, and a chef. If your life's that easy. So her life ain't hard. She's going every day. She's got her nails did, hair did. She's good. So this is something she's making up again. Look, it's the wife working what a man does nothing.
Every single morning, building to a whole life of nothingness, which
a life of nothingness. Okay. Aren't you supporting your fucking family? It's a life of nothingness. Well, then don't be a traditional wife then, for God's sake. If that's how you see taking care of your family is. By the way, if you're a single dad, you also cook and clean. And somehow the men, I've never, ever, one time in my many years of alive and watching TV and watching movies and watching TikTok and saw a man go, my life as a single dad. Oh my God, it's bored. No, he is happy to serve his family. And most women, except for men, single moms, or moms, not even single, this is just moms who love their families, who want to be a trad wife, don't think it's nothingness. They don't think that. They think I'm serving my family, people who I love. This is terrible.
Understand is the most depressing view of it. And
as she laughed, it's depressing.
I don't mean to frame it that way. I'm just saying that is the other side of it.
Being a stay-at-home mom is honestly the closest thing to feeling like you're going insane. It's the same routine every single day, same messes, same tantrum.
Why are you here? John, the problem is that most pair bonding happened in high school or college. Now you can't even look at that age. Work is impossible because you lose your job. You have hit it, John. One of the worst things we ever did as a society was if some guy hits on you at work or hits you at school, they're a bad guy. It's illegal or horrible. They get canceled. Now, to be very clear, women were getting harassed. Again, this goes to Mike's earlier point. It was bad. I'm not saying it wasn't. It was terrible. You couldn't get a promotion unless you sleep with the boss. True. That was all true. But that was pretty much gone by about the 90s, to be very full with you. There was some, but it was hardly ever. Here's the issue. What it used to be, because I know I used to do training on this in the 90s and 2000s. It changed. Around 2000 something, it began to change. It used to be, which was fair. If a guy asked you out at work, as long as there was no power dynamic, meaning he did not control your work or your pay or in some way, shape, or form. So he's either equal to you, below you in a hierarchy, or a different division where he does not control your work or your pay. And he asked you out. It was fine. You could tell him, no, don't like you, not interested, whatever. Fine, no worries. If he asked you out again, that was harassment, which was fair. If a guy asks you out and you don't like it, oh well. You don't like him, no worries. But if he asked, and you said no, he went again, that was harassment. And that was fair. That's how it should have been, and it should have stayed. No. Then it became, how dare you ask me out? Then it didn't even matter if there was a power dynamic. Now, I get I get if I control your workflow or I control your pay in some way. I get that. Power dynamic, bad idea, right? That part of the left is correct. There's a power dynamic. But we're equals in some way, or I'm in a different world, or you're my boss, or you're senior to me. Why? Why are you upset? Well, I shouldn't be asked out. Then don't leave the fucking house. Stay in your house all day. People will engage with you in society. You don't like it? Too goddamn bad. Don't leave your house. Sometimes guys might ask you out. The world's not going to end. You can just say no. The problem is you don't like the guy, so now you're mad. Okay, I get it. I understand it. Some guys were jerks. Then you do it more than once, you punish him, as you should. That's harassment. One time, what are you mad about? Now it happened in school. Some guy asked me out. I felt unsafe. You felt unsafe because the guy was ugly? So you felt unsafe because he was ugly? Stop it. What they did, and they've ruined everything when it comes to that. You're totally right, John. People used to they used to pair bond in school, college, work. And that's when the thing about being height or sexy didn't matter as much. Why? Because you had to know somebody. So, okay, maybe he's not the hottest. Maybe she isn't the cutest. Maybe she doesn't have the right body that I want, or he doesn't have the right, abs that I want, or whatever is the thing. Maybe she isn't as smart as I want. Maybe he's not as smart as I want. Whatever the case may be. He's or she is not exactly what I want, but I really like them. And I get along with them. And I've known them at work for 2 years. And I really think they're a good person. And they're nice to me. And I feel like I could have a life with them. So I'll ask her out. Or I'll go out with him, even though he isn't perfect. And we'll be married, we'll have kids, and we'll live together, and we'll pair bond. That's what used to happen. Now you can't. So where are you supposed to find somebody? You can't. You can't. And now you hear all the time, men do not ask out women. They don't do it. They don't do it. Women are always complaining. Why aren't men asking us? Why aren't men coming up to me? Because what you just showed, John. You've trained them not to. So they don't. And the worst part is now, the only guys who do most of the time are players. Why? Because they're good at it. They're players. Or you find the guys who are the jerks because they don't care about your feelings. They just ask you out anyway. They don't care about your feelings. So now you've got it to where a bunch of guys who are asking you out are jerks because the nice guys won't do it. True. No, he says, this has been a very entertaining and much needed conversation. Thank you for the show. Oh, I appreciate that, guys. I do appreciate that. I do. Yes. Kinsey says, Larry, you kept me here. I was trying to go at 8. No, you got to stay. Mike says, without all the traditional wives/moms that the brunette's dissing, there will be no society now. Women don't lose autonomy. They gain family and community. Oh, that is very good. Women don't lose autonomy. They gain family and community. And again, the women who would do so, those specific women, they're not going to be good boss babes. If you are a person who would just surrender your autonomy, if you are that person, you're not going to be a good boss babe anyway, right? If you are that person. And again, you don't have to be. Yes. So very funny. All right. I think I grabbed that one. Adirang says, I haven't attempted to meet anyone in a long time. You're not alone. There's a lot of men I meet who just quit. Robin says, same, quit looking a long time ago. A lot of people have. We've given up. And I hate it. I hate it. I really want us to be pair bonding, and we're not. So, yeah, Kinsuke asked, do you still want to at some point? And he goes on to say, I'm not against meeting someone. I just don't find any hope in all working out. Yes. Yes. I think a lot of people feel the same way. Mike says, it's amazing how many Republican women are being featured by this TikTok, trying to promote them as desirable and worth emulation. I'm too old because there's coercive self-acceptance, affirmation ideology. You're right. And this is the problem. So many of them are like, well, we all deserve. And deserve is what destroys us. Deserve is what destroys. I say all the time, no one deserves anything. You have to go out and try to find what you want, or you're relying upon luck. And will some people be lucky? Yes. Sometimes you'll be lucky, but often not. Often not. So yes, I did cover that piece. I hope that was good. I covered it. I think I'm going to wrap up with her, and that's about it. I think I'll zip up and head to this next piece, and I'll end her here. So. Johnson, you forgot the glass of brandy.
Nice. And dissect how we got here besides the irresistible aesthetic of it all. To do so, I want to bring up one TikTok in particular of a teenage trad wife, Lily, who shares her point of view on all of this.
I am 19 years old. I got married a week after I turned 18. I had my baby on my 19th birthday. I've seen people around my age infantilizing themselves. They're like, I'm 18 and I can't even cook for myself. And I'm just going to...
This is the part I want to bring up. There are a lot of people who are 18, 19, 20, and cannot do anything. They can't cook for themselves, clean, do laundry. They can't do anything. Nothing. That's one of the hardest things. And a trad wife, by default, must be able to do all those things. So how in the world are you saying that the trad wife by default is somehow terrible or bad? That woman knows what the hell she's doing. She can run a household. There's no value in that?
Say it, you should know how to do that.
Thank you.
You should know how to cook. You should know how to clean. It has set lower expectations on young adults, and I think that's a problem.
She is 100% correct. And not just for women, by the way. I know how to clean. I know how to cook. I do most of that now. I know how to do all that stuff. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
I want to hone in on one aspect of that, which is this idea that we have infantilized the newest generation, which I do agree with for a certain bunch of them. In a lot of ways, millennials have gentle parented too close to the sun, removing all barriers in childhood that build resilience. True. I did do a whole video on this, which I will link below, but when these coddled kids grow up and enter adulthood, they have no capacity to handle hardships or failure. It's also important to note that this inability to grow up isn't about reaching traditional adult milestones.
Yes, it is. It literally is. She's 100% wrong. It is people grow up through rites of passage. That's how that works. Hardship. Yes, that's how you grow up. And most of us who've been through something hard, that is what made us better, stronger, faster, made us learn something. Whatever we're proud of, we worked hard to get. That's how it works every single time. So she's 100% wrong. My rite of passage was the Marine Corps boot camp at 17. That was mine. Many young men, boot camp or something like that was their rite of passage. For many women, having to have a baby, she said it herself. Character building. Many times getting pregnant for many women. Sadly, hopefully you have a family when you do that, but that becomes rite of passage for many women too. So it depends on the person, what's doing. Yes, she said it herself and then contradicts it. She is utterly wrong.
That have all been dismantled with the death of the American dream, like going to college or buying a house, or as Lily says, settling down and getting married. Rather, it's a rejection of the responsibilities that are required of you when you emerge from the hand-holding of childhood and into the independence of standing on your own 2 feet. As said here, between ages 6 and 12, children are learning that effort produces results. They build things, solve problems, and discover what they're capable of.
Yes, this is an issue. This is an issue. She is correct. For the $2, you could have used my title suggestion. Did we have one? I must have missed that. Sorry about that.
That process goes wrong, whether through harsh criticism or repeated failure or lack of encouragement, the result is a deep, lingering sense of inferiority. The child learns that trying is dangerous because failing feels devastating. But while we see this as a growing trend with kids these days, the refusal to grow up is far from a new concept. All the way back in 1983.
Now, she says this because what she's saying is, this is how she used it. She's saying the opposite. She's in a totally the opposite. She says, well, see, becoming a trad wife is also being an infant. That's being an infant. So deciding to go to college, to be told what to do for 4 more years, going into debt, throwing all your money away, sleeping with every guy and gal you can possibly sleep with the entire time, right? The whole entire time. That's not infantilizing. Having no responsibility for your actions whatsoever, that's not infantilizing. But becoming a trad wife and being responsible for a household, that's infantilizing. What a bunch of horseshit. But she'll use this because
Psychologist
it's the
Dan
ideology.
Kiley was slapping the label of Peter Pan syndrome on young adults, based off the fictional character who refused to leave
She just brings
Neverland,
this stuff up,
remaining
but
in
means
childhood
nothing.
forever. As the name suggests, this condition describes adults who resist growing up, chronically sidestepping the responsibilities, emotional demands, and account.
So what she says is, I'm not joking. Think of how stupid this is. Think about how her audience is going, yeah, that makes sense. Her words, sidestepping adult responsibility. So which is sidestepping adult responsibility? Continually going to school, literally staying a student, being told what to do by teachers, not having to pay your own bills because you're in debt, going into more debt, going back home to mom afterwards, not having your own home, living on campus, right? That is not infantilizing. But what is taking charge of children and running a household. This is how insanely stupid this is, but people
that
believe
are
it.
expected from this stage of life. But here's the thing. The argument Lily is making is not the one she thinks she's making.
Yes, she is. You're full of shit. Just how that works. Mike says it. She's trying to tie Peter Pan, Quest for Youth, with traditional marriage and family. Yes, Mike, it makes no sense. You got it too. Mike saw it immediately. Utter garbage. Utter garbage. So becoming a mother and taking care of children and a household, that's a quest for youth. That is, in her eyes, being Peter Pan and not wanting to grow up, but wanting to stay a student. Being told what to do and go into debt because you can't pay your own bills, that's independence. Yes, Mike, that's what she's saying.
Because while she's right about kids not wanting to take on the responsibilities of adulthood, she fails to realize that the teenage trad wives as a whole are in the exact same camp. Instead of engaging in the real world, the trad...
This isn't the real world. Taking care of a household and children and being married, that's not the real world. The real world is college. College is the real world. I just want to make sure you guys saw that. I want to make sure you guys saw that piece. Mike, this chick has no clue about what traditional family is. I grew up in an area that was built by and is strong because of traditional family life. Yep. Nosy says she has no clue what trad wife is. She's not raised in traditional family. True. Utter garbage. This is totally a lie. I just want to bring that piece up, guys. I thought you would enjoy that last piece on how now she insults you, saying that if you become a trad wife, you're basically a baby. You're basically a baby. So a lot of this was about marriage, right? And very often you do find people talking about traditional marriage. I don't want to be married. I do want to be married, whatever. But the key is, do you want to have government in marriage? Well, you can find an article about that on The Advocates. Yes, you can. You can head over to theadvocates.org or click the link that is in the description of the show, and you will see an article right here. Go to marriage. When you head over to the articles, you'll see Alabama moves to get government out of marriage. What do you think about that? Do you want the government in your marriage? Do you not want the government in your marriage? Well, you can read this article. And when you are done, do me a favor, grade it. When you're done grading it, do me one more favor, share it. I keep asking you to share. Every single show I say, please share it. Why? I want more people coming to the Advocates for Self-Government. Why? Because if people come to the Advocates for Self-Government, what will happen? They will see that there are other ways of running government, other ways of running your life, ways based not upon coercion, not upon force, but about respect. We can actually make it work here. The Advocates for Self-Government, they're a sponsor of the show. I have not asked you something this show so far, and I know I've been long on this one, but I enjoyed this one. I'm asking you, please click the button known as Lima India Kilo Echo. If you haven't, why wouldn't you? I'm giving you 2.5 hours of interesting chat back and forth. You guys are talking to yourselves when you're talking to me. Come on now. That's important. So you like it. I know you do because you keep chatting. So please keep chatting. Click that button known as like if you would. I appreciate it. And something else. If you think it's interesting, share this someplace else. Share it someplace else. If you haven't already, please do so. And of course, if you have not subscribed to Sharpe Way, please do so and click all notifications. Why do I ask you to do this? Some of you may not recognize this, but a lot of people who watch this show are not subscribed. They think they are. If you're watching on anything, LinkedIn, YouTube, whatever you're watching, subscribe on the channel. Follow the page. They often get rid of you. Please do it. And when you do it, recheck that you get all notifications. So it bings. I'm trying to go on at 7 every single day. I'm trying my best to do so. And you'll get a bing. Come on, say hi, click the like, put in a comment, take off your like. But either way, support the show. You can, if you want to, hit the link tree, the Sharpe way. Support many ways. You can become a member, which you know I love. Patreon, if you want to, buy me a coffee, whatever, to keep this show going. I am trying to give a good show that people enjoy, that you can talk about, that matters, that you want to share. I want you to want to come back on. This is one of the best chats you are going to find, literally one of the best chats you're going to find, right? You know that's true, right? So Adirang says it. Here I was chatting with my friends. I noticed Larry Sharpe is talking. Yes, that's how it works. Yes. Bruno says, Larry's a very good conversation tonight. Thank you. Absolutely. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. We want to be doing this, right? And click like, people. Follow what she says. She's correct. Guys, I will be on tomorrow night at 7. I will have a guest tomorrow night and a guest also on Thursday night, an AMA on Friday. So I'll be on every night this week. Guys, please help out if you can. As always, clicking the button known as like. Larry, you've changed my life. The best comment of the night. I will see you all. Oh, sorry. I have to give you homework, don't I? I'll get mad. She's right. Yes. D gets mad for giving homework. So I'll give homework. Sorry. I want you guys to comment after the live if you could. Yes, please. All right. Here's my comment. Here's my question. Do you think most online trad wives, are really trad wives or just clickbait, rage bait, just trying to get the clicks, fake, grifters, not real? Or do you think most are real? Are most trad wives clickbaity, rage baity, or are most real? Let me know in the comments after the show. I'll see you all very soon.